What's going on? Connor Wilson here, Lax All-Stars. I'm joined by Greg Bice, running over at the last minute. Love it. We are at Maverick Showtime here at Western Connecticut State University in Danbury, Connecticut. It's a beautiful field, beautiful facility. We've got 22s, just finished up a game. We got 2020s, 2021 All-Star games coming up tonight. Bice, what are you most excited about? We talked about it a little bit on the way up, but I mean, just being at Showtime, it's a high-quality event. What are you most excited to see tonight?
Well, we're seeing the best of the best. You talk about this event, talking to the players, they talk about how deep every single kid here can play. The talent's here, and now we've narrowed it down. We have the All-Stars. So I'm just looking forward to seeing good lacrosse. We get to call it. We're in for a real treat. Everybody watching at home on their phones, right? We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're everywhere. No excuse not to watch some of the best talent in the country play the 20 age group and the 21 age group.
Yeah, and that's really amazing to me, you know, and you mentioned it, right? You hit the nail on the head. The concentration of talent here, whether you're talking about 8th graders or 9th graders or 10th graders who are going to be juniors next year, the talent here is crazy. I don't know that I've ever seen an event where each and every kid, I mean, you're like, wow, that's a lacrosse player, that's a lacrosse player. I mean, these kids are good, especially for graduating 8th graders. Can you talk a little bit about how much that has changed, you know, since you and I were kind of graduating high school?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier on the way up. Just the skill set that these young players possess now is phenomenal. You know, when you look back when you and I played, obviously we've been out of the game for a little while here now, but just the way that these kids carry their sticks, everything's just technically sound, their creativity, you know, these are things that you didn't see. You might have seen 1 or 2 players that had that special something, and now it seems like all of these kids, just talent-wise, first-time ground balls, behind-the-back passes, you know, backhand flips, all these things that we're seeing from players at these young ages now is really special.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. How do you just, you shouldn't kind of be able to do maybe at that age. I think it's definitely a product of picking up your stick more and more, but we've seen it here this week as well. There's a lot of coaching going on. Can you speak to that a little bit, the importance of coaching at an elite level event?
Absolutely. When you look at this showcase, obviously the best players, they're not just rolling the ball out and letting these guys play. They have team practices, they're putting in sets, so the ball is moving. It's really good lacrosse. A lot of times you go IQ that'll really show, you know, as opposed to some of the standard showcase all-star events that you'll see.
Absolutely, and you know, obviously you can talk about the gear a little bit. There is amazing gear here on display. We'll get to that a little bit more. Maverick and Cascade did a great job as usual. I came out here 6 years ago. I think it was probably my first time up to see Showtime. And there's been no drop-off in the quality. So, you know, we've seen events drop off. How has this event been able to kind of maintain that top-level status and keep bringing in such good players?
I think the key is keep the events small. So, you know, a lot of it start small, they'll be elite, they'll be exclusive, and then they add players, which is, you know, it's a natural. You grow your event, but here they've said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to stay limited. You know, it's a very hard event to get into. You got to get screened, you got to get recommendations, and it's been a successful formula that Carcaterra's been running here, and you talk about it every single year. This event hosts the best players in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it is incredible. 2 kids who used to play for me, one of them is off at Taft right now, the other is at Westminster. I mean, these kids are starting on varsity teams as freshmen, very good players at very good prep schools. I saw them both and said, do you guys make the All-Star game? And they said, nope, it's tough out there, coach. So, I mean, the talent level here, those are kids who I thought were some of the best players I'd ever seen in 8th grade playing in Connecticut, the Connie League. And now they're coming here and they're not All-Stars. I mean, I think that speaks very deeply to how good the talent is top to bottom.
And that's a great experience for them. You talk about how deep these rosters are. You might be your best player on your high school getting varsity experience, but how do you stack up nationally? Right? And so for a lot of those kids, you know, I came from Texas. I played when I went to college. I went to Ohio State. You know, I walked onto a field. I didn't know how good I was, right? I was like, I don't know if I can play with these guys. And so I got to stack myself up against some of the best players at the college level, you know. But now for these guys, they get to see, hey, maybe I'm not where I thought I was. Obviously, I'm one of the best. I'm in that top group. But maybe there's room for improvement. And so for these kids to be able to challenge themselves every single, you know, come to this event and then go home and say, you know what, I got 10 things that I still got to work on and get better, yeah. I think is extremely valuable for these kids.
Yeah, and honestly, I think having a little bit of knowledge of where you fit in is kind of a good thing. I went into Wesleyan University, not sure if I would make the team. Like, I thought I might get cut because I wasn't good enough, and then I ended up starting for 4 years. So very different kind of end result than what I thought. So it's great for these guys to be able to go out and test themselves against some of the other best kids in their class from around the country. definitely draws in a lot of top coaches too. You've seen a lot of guys here.
Yeah, there's going to be the top coaches here, obviously. You know, there's such a concentration of players, and now with the new recruiting rules, you know, from what I hear, it's going to be a free-for-all, almost like football, right? Nobody's really committed until they're signed and committed.
Nobody's committed until you're committed.
You're not committed until you're committed. And you know, for these players, this is a chance that they might have. They might be verbally committed. Some of these 20s, you know, there's very few of the 21s that are verbally committed, but some.
I think there's 7. I think there's 7 21s in the entire country that committed before the rules changed.
Before the rules changed, and you have the 20s that committed, obviously, before the rules changed as well. There's more of those players, but, you know, come September 1, those 20s are going to be getting calls. You know, the top 20s are getting calls from every single college coach, whether they've verbally committed or not.
Yeah, no, and that's a huge change. And I think it makes these events, as well as showcases at schools where kids are really particular about where they might want to go, very important. But to be able to bring this kind of talent together in a position where these 8th graders, 9th graders are not getting recruited. They're just playing to play a little bit. You know, I mean, yes, they're playing to get a look down the line, but it's not that I'm not going to get called tomorrow, so I still have time to develop. Do you think that takes a little pressure off of guys?
100%, especially for the young guys, you know, with the early recruiting when guys were committing, you know, their freshman year, even before they got to their freshman year in 8th grade. You know, it's, you know, a lot of the other kids feel the pressure, like, oh, you know, nobody's looking at me. And you know, for me, somebody who's on the club side, who sees, you know, the process, is for these kids, the message is get better every single day. And you never know, you know, when you're going to get, you'll end up at the right school, and everybody's recruiting process and recruiting story is different. So stay the course, get better. You know, I just saw a kid who committed after he graduated, won a state championship, and then he commits to a big-time Division I school. You know, so it's like, yeah, exactly, it's awesome. And so if you do the right things, you get it done in the classroom, you get it done on the lacrosse field, you're going to find the right place to go to school, and you're going to have an offer, whether it comes early or comes late. You know, you're going to have that opportunity.
That's awesome. Great insight. One of the big things here, obviously, that we were talking about earlier, the stick skills that these guys have. And obviously, a lot of that is the pockets and the products and the work that these kids are putting in. But the lacrosse stick, you know, is a unique implement. The late Flip Nomberg, who just passed away, said a really kind of amazing thing. In what sport is a lacrosse stick is a stick or a piece of equipment more important than a lacrosse stick in the game of lacrosse? And I agree with him. I don't think there's anything that compares or that's as unique as it is. So we've got a great video here coming up with Alfie Jacques talking about the history of lacrosse sticks, where they've come from, kind of runs through his stick collection, and it is an amazing stick collection. I've been up there to his house, to his workshop. I met his mother, who's a great potter, and I mean, it's just an unbelievable experience to see all that, and we're really excited to be able to share this with people. So check it out and enjoy a little bit of history with Alf.
Because I still make wooden sticks the old-fashioned way. I get hickory trees that are split into lengths. The lengths are shaped, dried, steamed, and bent, dried some more, and then slowly carved and shaped into a lacrosse stick. So this is an old style, probably about 1800 or earlier. This is about 1890, a different style with Iroquois ball. This one here, I got this one last year. It's a 1940s model. Pretty good stick, all gut netting. This is 1934. It's a Frank Lazor stick made out of Onondaga, all handmade. This is my high school stick when I was all county, all upstate with this stick. And in high school, I made all my own sticks for myself for 4 years. This is my senior stick. It's a brand new box lacrosse stick that I just finished a couple, well, last week. Got the date on it. This is a brine, part of my collection. It's a wooden brine stick when Brine sold wooden sticks before they sold plastic. So it's an old brine. This is a left-hander. You can see it's made opposite. This is a goalie stick, all heavy wood. It's all falling apart. It says Cortland High School, 1969. Cortland up near Syracuse. It's another brand new box stick. I just finished that one. This is a wooden girl stick, part of my collection. It's in great shape. About 1932, I think, they started making double wood wall sticks. I couldn't buy one, so I had to make my own. They were too heavy, and the players didn't like them. It was hard to use. And then the guy that got hit with it, he really didn't like it. And they made it illegal, almost right away. It's one of my personal sticks. Got some design on it, burned into it. personalized. A tree of peace, because it's not about war, it's a peace game. My turtle clan, my symbol, a couple stars. Down here it's got stuff on the handle, but it's got a little smiley face on it, see? Because lacrosse keeps us happy, right? Lacrosse makes us happy, so it's got a smiley face on it. This is a fancy stick I made in 95, I think. Got a hand carved on the end, holding on to the eagle feather. Got design on it, up through the top. Just a fancy stick. This one here is a ball and a stick from northern Minnesota, Ojibwe. This is an early style Menominee. I copied this, it was in a museum. It's an early style Menominee. This is like Eastern Dakota, Sioux. This is a modern day Menominee with a wooden ball. Want to be a goalie? It's a Chickasaw ball. It's filled with pine nuts. And it's very much like a hacky sack. This is a two-stick game. This is Muskogee, Oklahoma. You pick up the ball, you hold it in with the other stick. You run with it that way. Throw it like that. So, Muskogee, Oklahoma, Muskogee. This is a modern. This is only about 15 years old. This here is about 45 years old. The thing is, the reason I still make sticks, it's not the money. It's not about money at all. I make sticks because my people need our stick to do our ceremonies. It's part of our religion. Our men are buried with the stick. They take the stick with them to the spirit world to play lacrosse with their ancestors. The Creator has a game for you as soon as you get to the other side. It's part of our religion. It's part of who we are as a people. So I continue to make sticks for our people.
So we got these guys, a lot of these guys are going to be future college stars, I'm thinking. I mean, they look like excellent players. Might be a couple years away, but we did see the Final Four this year. You watched on TV. I was there in person. Some amazing games. You know, we got some highlights that we want to show off because these games are just fantastic. What do you think the chances are? How hard is it to tell us one of these guys is going to make it there in 4 years? I mean, is that something you can tell?
Ben Reeves was at the Showtime event. I guess what was that, 4 or 5 years ago now, right? And you know, you talk about going
away.
It's the men's lacrosse semifinal from Foxborough, Massachusetts. The 3-seed Yale taking on 2nd-seeded Albany. One of these teams will play in their very first NCAA championship match. We pick it up in the first quarter. Yale already up 1-0. They dominated possession in the first. This is Jackson Worrell doubling their lead. Then Ben Reeves spins and bounces one in. How about Matt Gaudette from Reeves for another one? Reeves adds his second goal as the Elis score the first 7 goals of the match. They end the first quarter up 7-1. It's 8-1 in the second quarter. Albany trying to get back in this thing. T.B. Erlin off the face-off. He does it himself for the goal. That took all of 6 seconds. One home, and when I say rips, I mean absolutely rips one home there. Then it's Erlin again wreaking havoc off the face-off. He sets up Jack Bergmaster, who cuts the lead to 4, and Albany's legendary brothers of Lyle and Miles Thompson absolutely loving that action. It's 9-5 Yale in front. But Yale's Gaudette had quite a half. Morrill finds Gaudette for the goal here. Then Jason Alessi feeds Gaudette, who quickly gets rid of it to score his 5th goal. And while Gaudette loves the action, the Great Danes mascot, well, yeah, not so much. It's 11-5 Yale at this point. Still second quarter, same score, and the Elis in the half in style. Reeves finds fire. It is 12-5 at the half. Third quarter now, 12-6. Connor Fields tries to give life to the Great Danes. A nice pass they can score here. His 199th career goal. It's 12-7 Yale. 15-7 Yale a bit later, and just too much. Ben Reeves, nice passing. Here's a setup. Reeves in close, and Reeves catches the pass, spins and scores again. Watch it one more time. That's his 5th goal. He had a season-high 9 points as he added 4 assists. 17-7 at the end of the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, Albany was going down, but not without showing off some wizardry. Check out Connor Fields' behind-the-back pass to Jacob Patterson for the goal. There's another look at it. It's 17-8. We got the icing on the cake for you, though, for Yale here. Gaudette scores his 6th goal. Another look at it, just whizzing over the goalkeeper's head. Yale will play for their first national championship. They win this one, 20-11. The defending champs in action today in the men's lacrosse semifinal from Foxborough, Massachusetts. We're talking about the number 1 seed Maryland. They're facing off against the 4th seed Duke. Both teams trying to win their 4th NCAA championship. We start you off with first half action. Freshman Nakai Montgomery has started for the Blue Devils in the NCAA tournament. Here he blows by the defender to get the scoring started for Duke. Then in the second quarter, Montgomery leaves another man in the dust to score again. And Duke, well, they found something good, so they set him up nicely for his hat trick. Another look at the 3rd tally here for the superstar birthday. And it's time for the Stars to take over. Maryland's Connor Kelly. A pretty feed to Logan Wisnauskas, who finishes. That makes it 7-3. Watch it one more time. Good look there at the finish for Maryland. The lead down to 4 for Duke. And the game's all-time scorer, Justin Gutterding, adds to his total for Duke. That's 208 on his career. An absolute sniper. Duke up 8-3. Now it's 8-4 Maryland's Kelly. Shot is well saved by Danny Feller. Kelly tracks it down, though, and sets up Tim Rotans, who fires one in to cut the lead to 3, 8-5 at the half. Duke in front. So we move to half number 2, third quarter action. Kelly gets things going for the Terps in the second half. Spins, and with the defender draped all over him, fires home his first goal again. He had a goal and 3 assists. Duke's lead down to 2, so we're getting close here. Later, Maryland, who trailed 6-0, cuts it to just 1 when Rotans goes through Gutterding and sets up Bubba Fairman, who rips that one home. And it's 8-7 Duke. Are nerves starting to appear for the Blue Devils? Well, we have an answer for you later in the third quarter. Same score. Duke held its nerve. The Blue Devils get to a 3-goal advantage again by the end of the third quarter, so it's 10-7 at the end of 3. In the fourth now, the Blue Devils looking to ice things. Joe Manone draws the defense and flips it back to Gutterding, who does the rest. 4 straight goals for Duke. Gutterding, 3 goals, 3 assists. Duke advances to the national championship game. They win it 13-8.
So as we saw, we had some unbelievable NCAA games. I mean, the D1 final between Yale and Duke was unreal. Wesley and Salisbury was another tight game, 8-6. Got to rep the alma mater. Yeah, I'm very excited. Totally fair. But that D2 game was just, Merrimack crushed it. I mean, props to St. Leo's for getting there, but Merrimack was a team on a mission. It was like 23-6 to set a record for goals. I mean, what is it about those final games that you think when one team just takes it to another team?
I think, it's all about timing and a little bit of luck for sure. Obviously, it takes a lot to get to an NCAA championship game. And sometimes, you just have one of those games where, one team plays really well and another team maybe doesn't play their best lacrosse on the biggest stage. And, unfortunately, it's about timing as much as anything. And, if you play, I played a lot of lacrosse games in my day, and sometimes everything's going your way and sometimes it's not. You just don't know when those days are going to happen. But obviously, they were stacked top to bottom. And you talk about the NCAA championships, D1, D2, D3, and just it was phenomenal. It's such a great environment, and we talk about it, and it's just so special for the sport and the games, or even in the blowouts. They're still fun to watch, and still so much to learn and enjoy about our sport.
No question. So in that spirit, we're going to show you a couple videos of what it's like in the inside of the Final Four weekend. If you've never been up there, there's a lot more going on than just the lacrosse games, which are by themselves amazing, but there's a lot more going on. So check it out. We were up there with Miles Jones. It was great to have him, putting his pretty mug on the camera, showing it off a little bit. He's a character. He had a great time on the sidelines. So check out what Miles and all of us here at LAS were up to. A Final Four weekend at Foxborough in July.
Here at Gillette Stadium, Final Four championship weekend. It's your host, Miles Jones. Head to Fan Fest. Let's check it out. My first vlog. Here we go. Yo, what's up?
Can I get a photo?
A photo? One? You got it.
Buffalo Wild Wings?
Oh, yeah. I love Buffalo Wild Wings. I love Buffalo Wild Wings. They have so many. It's kind of tough. I'm a regular Buffalo kind of guy. Who are you rooting for? What's your favorite song?
Dreams and Nightmares by Instructional.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that one. It's probably the best thing I've signed all day. There you go.
Sweet Child Life by Cousin Rosie.
Let's go! I just wouldn't stick there.
Might not know this, but Justin Guthrie, two-time guest on the P5. We just had Danny Fowler and JT. Is Justin Guthrie the greatest player of all time?
I think so.
Okay. That's all you need to hear.
Oh, that's all I've heard. I think so. He shows up with a Maryland shirt. I gave him a load of crap, now he's got his Duke shirt on. He's a good man.
Here we go, baby! Let's go, Duke!
So I have to fill a weight route in case I get hurt. I doubt I'm gonna get hurt, but I'm gonna do it for the people. I'll shoot the backpack on. Maybe it'll give me like a little bit of food. No warm up, no warm up. So this right here is one of my teammates' cousins, Marco Cini. Taking a quick Snapchat, send it to him. Tell him we're saying what's up.
Game one, Albany-Yale. I think you saw the most physical team in college lacrosse in Yale, who brought the pain against the Great Danes. The Dane train kind of just ran out of gas. Game two, Duke had the juice. They're playing with a purpose. Monday's gonna be off the charts.
I'm gonna be watching you. Use them. Walk up to them. Ask them questions. All right? They want to hear you ask them questions.
The lefty on the righty, it's much more, it's harder for a defender to guard you when you attack his top hand.
Just step to our target, right in the middle of the net. We want to shoot. We're not even in the corners right now. Big step, right in the middle of the net.
Just make sure you get to the ball as quickly as you can. All right?
Hands back, extended, be able to catch it, and as soon as you catch it, be able to pull it nice over hand release.
What's going on? Wesleyan taking on Salisbury, my alma mater. I'm obviously biased. We're going to have a great game here.
Official prediction, Yale 15, Duke 13.
Duke is going to win 12-9. I was going to say 13-8. No, 13-10.
Look, thank you.
What's up, guys? We're here at Gillette Stadium. Miles Jones. I was lucky enough to get a media pass, so I'm here on the sideline, catching all the energy and all the fun down here. My first experience being on the sideline, taking some pictures. Couldn't be happier. I need my Duke Blue Devils to step it up a little bit, but we're looking good.
Hey, Miles, what do you think about this post? Flat or round?
Absolutely round. Absolutely. Who's bigger? Me or Miles? I think my cow's gonna cramp. They're gonna cramp.
Miles, we gotta get you to throw a deal.
I've been waiting for so long. Good deal.
Miles Jones ball right now?
Yes, you are.
Let's go!
I used to be a high school quarterback. I'm gonna try to get up to the second row there. Get it up there. It came unraveled. I was going for the top row.
We need a couple goals here.
And you can't really see it on my plate. It's a lot of scraps, but the steak was good. Mac and cheese was phenomenal, and the roasted vegetables, always a good touch. Duke's still down by 2, but they're hustling, making plays all over the field.
I mean, we're speechless. I don't even know what to think right now. I'm just gonna take the trophy home and process it.
My big man, subscribe to his channel, youtube.com/MilesJones15.
Now, last time we were talking about the Final Four. Next up, we're going to talk about the Tewaaraton a little bit. I think it's a press too far for me to say that any of these guys are going to win at Tewaaraton definitively, but they could. We've had some former Tewaaraton winners play here before. We're going to give you a little inside look of what that entire Tewaaraton ceremony looks like, as well as some interviews with some of the top players who are in contention for the award this year in 2018.
We're going to be watching you. Use them. Walk up to them. Ask them questions. All right? They want to hear you ask them questions.
Go lefty on the righty. It's much more. It's harder for a defender to guard you when you attack his top hand.
Step to our target, right in the middle of the net. We want to shoot. We're not even in the corners right now. Big step, right in the middle of the net.
Just make sure you get to the ball as quickly as you can. All right?
Hands back, extended, be able to catch it, and as soon as you catch it, be able to pull it. Nice overhand release.
You guys know any tips on dodging a pole?
Yeah.
How would you dodge a pole?
You need to make the dodges really big, and you need speed.
Yeah.
Because it's sticky.
So here's a little trick I learned. When you have a deep pole, they're like this. So righty, if you want to, if the defender's in a right hand here, and you attack his top hand. So if you right here, you'd have to go lefty on the righty, because it's much more. It's harder for a defender to guard you when you attack his top hand. Let's go. Next two. Get it in his backhand here. You guys ready? Oh, wait for the ball here. Go. Go through it. No checking him. Come up with it. There you go. Scoop it through. There you go.
We're going to have our hands back, and we're going to step to our target, right in the middle of the net. We want to shoot. We're not aiming for corners right now. We'll probably do that with Ben down there. All right? So we're going to do hands back, big step, and right in the middle of the net. You guys beat each other, yep? Good. Hands back.
You guys know any tips on dodging a pole? And so if you, right here, you'd have to go lefty on the righty because it's harder for a defender to guard you when you attack his top hand. Go. Next two. Get in his backhand here. You guys ready? Oh, wait for the ball here. Go. Go through it. No checking him. Come up with it. There you go. Scoop it through. There you go.
We're gonna have our hands back, and we're gonna step to our target, right in the middle of the net. We want to shoot. We're not aiming for corners right now. We'll probably do that with Ben down there. All right. So we're gonna do hands back, big step, right in the middle of the net. You guys feed each other. Yep. Good. Hands back. Put your hands up. Catch it. Catch it.
Try going a little bit lower. So you're a lefty, right? So you're going to throw the ball up. You can do it with your hand too. So want me to throw it? So you're going to throw it, get your stick up just like this. Bring it and bring it in like that, okay? Ready? Good. No, you got it. So you're going to track it in the air. So as soon as it comes, try to grab it like you're catching like an egg. So you're bringing it in and then you're coming across, okay? Okay, like hey, that's good. I got it. Thank you. And Canyon. I saw that when I was on the airplane once. It's pretty cool. I've never been there before. Yeah, we flew over it when I was flying to California.
That still counts.
Watching you, use them, walk up to them, ask them questions, all right? They want to hear you ask them questions.
Go lefty on the righty because it's harder for a defender to guard you when you attack his top hand.
Step to our target, right in the middle of the net. We want to shoot. We're not aiming for corners right now. Big step, right in the middle of the net.
Just make sure you get to the ball as quickly as you can. All right?
Hands back, extended, be able to catch it, and as soon as you catch it, be able to pull it, nice overhand release.
Try going a little bit lower. So you're a lefty, right? So you're going to throw the ball. You can do it with your hand too. So want me to throw it? So you're going to throw it, get your stick up just like this. Bring it and bring it in like that, okay?
Pick it up, bring it across your body like you're sealing a defender off and cradle down here, okay?
Getting a good shot, but let's try to throw in a fake and go high or low, okay? Sound good? Ready? Sweet. Woo! I always think it's so funny when...
Catch it. I'm starving. All I've had today is McDonald's breakfast.
Greg Bice
So Greg and I were lucky to get around a little bit before the game today, and we actually got some really cool interviews with some really big lacrosse names who were here, and some of them are actually watching their kids. So that was really cool. Who do we get to talk to that kind of stood out?
I always like talking to Roy. Colsey, obviously one of the best lacrosse players in the world, a former teammate of mine for when I was starting my MLL career. He was ending his, but just a great guy, great voice for the sport, and a guy who's genuine and cares. And then obviously Coach Spallina watching his kid. Both of them are here watching their kids. So those two guys, you know, I really respect in the lacrosse world, and to get to talk to them, and they're on the other side now as spectators and as dads and as fans. It's just fun to be around.
Yeah, it's really neat. Petro's here too, watching his kids and recruiting, but really watching his kids. So it's very cool. So here are a couple of interviews with some of the big names of the lacrosse community who are coming out to Showtime in 2018.
Greg Bice alongside John Sable, coach here for the Maverick Showtime. Coach, you've been here a couple days. You work with older kids, younger kids are starting. Can you just talk a little bit about this event and what it means to coach and what you're seeing and what you're experiencing here?
Yeah, I mean, this event in itself is unbelievable just to be at and see the talent that comes from all over the country, and really just see how the game has spread from, and coming from Long Island myself and seeing that it was a hotbed, and now seeing that you're seeing kids from Texas, coming from California and all over. It's unbelievable just to see the game spread.
So I'm actually from Texas, so I love to see the Texas guys on the roster, and you talk about the game growing everywhere. One of the things that's really unique about this, obviously a showcase guys are playing from all over. We can talk about the practices. You know, you guys get a chance to really mesh and come and work together. Can you talk about how that allows them to play better?
Yeah, so I mean, on the first day we practiced with the team. We have them for about an hour, and during that time period we're just putting in basic sets and just letting the kids really play. And it really gives the kids an opportunity to showcase their lacrosse IQ, because you can put them on the field with anybody that understands the game and just put them in a set they know how to adapt with each other. And I think that's one of the best things that you see during this showcase is kids not so much being constantly coached, but they're showing what they actually know in terms of the game. And that's what impresses me most.
Well, thanks, Coach. We won't take up too much more of your time.
I appreciate it.
Get back to those 22s.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. All right, here we are with Demo from Cascade, the man, the myth, the legend, bringing what all the kids want, the goodies, the gear. Let's talk through what these kids are wearing out here today.
So first off,
we're talking about this. We're talking about this?
Well, this is something a little bit special. We broke out some awesome helmets. We're working in collaboration with Zima Gear and Paul Carcaterra of Showtime to be able to put an awesome MVP helmet together for the MVP of each All-Star game. And so every single kid out here is decked to the nines, dressed to the nines, right, with brand new S helmets, our new Rome glove line from Maverick, and then they get all their choice of heads and things along those lines. But these helmets really kind of are the cream of the crop. We really wanted to put something special together, something brand new, kind of honor all the hard work that they've been putting into play.
Talk about these kids, obviously some of the best players in the country, wearing some of the best gear in the country. Kids get fired up, you get fired up, everybody at home should get fired up as well. Thanks for the time, Demo, we appreciate it.
You got it, thanks for your time.
Now we are joined by Syracuse legend, NLL legend, MLL legend, all the legends. Check every box for this guy, Roy Colsey. So glad to have you here. Just want to ask you a few questions about this showcase. Obviously you got a son playing in it, so that's a pretty big deal with the little guys at 22s. Can you just talk a little bit about this event, what Carcaterra's been able to put together?
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, you know, Paul's been saying every year, Roy, you got to come up and check this out. It's you know, it's an amazing event, and the level of play, and we're playing on one field, and you know, summertime is busy for all of us. We're doing club lacrosse and we're coaching and we're traveling, and anyway, this year my 8th grader is here at the event, so I was able to get up here and check it out, and I'm just blown away by the facility and the level of play. The gear has been awesome. And you know, it's a really exciting time. It's a great time for these kids because they're meeting new people. You know, getting to know some of the guys that maybe they've seen on the field before, but they haven't had a chance to catch up and talk to. And you know, I just think it'll be one of those experiences that will help them as far as lacrosse, but certainly also one of those lifelong experiences that start to make friends that they'll probably have for a really long time.
One of the things that we were talking about prior was just the development piece and the ability to get those reps and get those touches. And you and I are both passionate about teaching and coaching kids. Obviously, one of the things that I think is unique about this, obviously you got to showcase, you got the best players, but they're practicing. They get practice, they get touches. And can you talk a little bit about that development piece and how important it is in the summer, even though obviously these teams are playing, they're getting the game aspect, but they're also getting the coaching and getting the development piece as well.
Yeah, you know, it was cool. My son, you know, after his team practice, which, you know, at an event like this, it's not always something that's guaranteed that you're going to, you know, get coached up, and certainly they guys put a real emphasis on making sure that it's unselfish play, and, you know, guys are understanding what their job is and what their roles are and the systems that they're playing in, and I think ultimately it makes for much better lacrosse. I think kids are more comfortable. The defense is actually sliding instead of trying to stay with their man, so their guy doesn't score. And you know, but the fact that they're here getting better, you know, not just from the competition but also from the coaching, it's a home run. You know, I just I think it's a great experience, and you know, every single kid that's here is going to have a great experience and going to get better.
As always, we appreciate it. Roy, you're the man, the legend. Always such a so good to talk to you. Appreciate the time. Here we are. We're now joined by Coach Spallina, legendary coach, men's, women's, everything, obviously. But you're here for a different reason today. Got your boy out there playing. Can you just talk a little bit about this event?
Yeah, it's exciting. I've obviously known Clark in this event for a long time, coaching my older club teams. It's an honor for my son to be considered, and it's cool to be a dad, you know, and just kind of sit in the stands and watch and enjoy that part of it. So I'm proud of him, and I love, you know, Clark, this event is amazing. So it's always been, you know, one of the premier events of the summer.
How hard is it as a dad? I got some kids, they're not playing yet, but to take off that coaching hat and just enjoy watching your kids play.
It's fun, you know, and I actually got a taste of it this summer. You know, I mean, this past spring with Joey playing varsity at Mount Sinai High School, and it was actually neat. I couldn't stand by the other parents, to be honest with you. I had to sit there.
I may
And welcome to. I'm joined by some of the pregame. 30-minute halves going. Very exciting game. Country games, so.
I appreciate that. Calling me. Plus, we talked about it. These guys are coached, dodging six, and cross played by
some of these recruiting are, and some concepts was plays and set lacrosse
before they initiate. Brick and team cast for the viewers at home. Now settling in.
Where over the place. I mean, and, you know,
you got the traditions from all over the country. Best Showtime, but they're.
So I coached players, and they did not the talent out.
Save. Matthew. Texas boys, you know that.
It was a good save, nice. early in a game like this, given that you're probably did.
They're going to get some burn.
Starting to come in, and another great save.
Out of Ohio.
Gotta love the Ohio kids.
There we go.
Just here you got guys from. I mean.
Yeah, as a college coach, this is the place. About
Showtime, you can still
Sakis with the goal.
The assist.
Backwards.
That's case years. Went to Darien.
Where you get your steak. Market right off the bleachers.
They do have some Bronx represent roll with
Fantastic. Looks really out of.
Not the same.
They've had a couple nice.
Creating good opportunity.
Great feed. Ari Allen, how about
you guy guessing for the top pass?
First there is the beginning. And Leo J.
I remember coaching in New York City. I believe it's in Greenwich. Watching him as a center. And great. Unbelievable.
When he went pipe to pipe.
Dylan Farley.
For Dylan. The Westminster School.
I'm a Westie guy. Westminster. 4 players.
Obviously, you're more. If we see the, it used to be the that extra look where everybody would repeat the
of a late loud being. We're going to use it to make a great pass. And that's kind of one of those next. Nice finish, big number 9.
Yeah, and another great feed. It's 2 assists for Blaze.
Playing well, absolutely.
Team Cascade goal by number 9, Blake Borges.
Blake Borges with the cut.
Assist, number 4, his second of the game, Trey Sakis. Borges from Sakis. Key Cascade leads.
Sakis there with a great feed. Sees the field really well out of Del Barton School.
Top quality lacrosse down there. Congrats to Chuck Rubling on one heck of a career.
Down there?
Yeah.
Where's Del Barton?
Down there. It's relative to New York. It's down there. It's
okay.
New Jersey. Chuck Barton for 30 years, something like that. Led them to a bunch of great. So you go from being the head varsity coach of a legendary program, and then you go off and coach the freshmen. Pretty cool to stay in the game, you know, grow the game, right? That's part of the idea. You have a great coach.
Trey Sakis.
Yep.
Trey Sakis.
MVP helmets. Game. They're giving away this. But Antle and
throw it on your play good. Yeah, well.
We play wall ball, Connor. The kids out here, you know, their ability to play with both hands. I mean, this level of lacrosse is a consistent level. I've seen a lot of goals scored like that.
No, it's,
you know, in the late 90s.
Aiden Mulholland there with the take, and you see that's a tough finish there. Like you said, and he drops the goalie and then finishes high. And that skill level, the reps that these kids are getting at this young age, these kids just completed their freshman year of high school. They're going into their sophomore campaign, and for them to be able to have that skill level, you know, is impressive. And the tight finish there from Mulholland.
No question about it.
How about these face-off guys too? These specialists. You know, one of the things that's impressive to me is how athletic they are. They pick up the ball, they run with it. You know, a lot of times, you know, technically sound and doing the skill piece only, but these guys, you know, the guys that you're seeing now are all athletic, can run with the ball, can scrap, can go for those 50-50 balls, and these guys battling today are no exception.
Yeah, more and more you see the face-off player, although he's still a very specialized role, is becoming a more complete lacrosse player because they have to be. You know, your other teams, you know, Notre Dame, for example, does, while they don't have necessarily a great face-off guy like some of the other schools do, they've developed a wing strategy and team play that can really kind of cut that out of a game. So if you're not a complete player, it makes it a little bit hard to, you know, recruit a kid like that and give them an entire slot if they can't do other things as well.
Big possession here for Team Maverick.
You know, and even if those other things are just clearing the ball with some confidence, playing good defense, I mean, those are key aspects at this point. Any face-off, get-off, or face-off specialist should be able to do.
Ooh, how about that?
That was a mean take down the left-hand side.
Reed Landon with the rip. Testing his range. That's I guess a goalie who's seeing the ball extremely well, calls his own number, splits to the left, and just perfect placement on that shot.
Did a great job hiding his stick behind his body, you know, pulling the goalie over to the near pipe and then hitting that far pipe. I mean, that's his perfect.
Nice.
Take it.
School of that. That guy can hammer it.
He can hammer the ball. I mean,
Roy Colsey, who we interviewed too, he can hammer it.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, Roy is one of those
He dropped him again and buries high.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a really good job of getting the head of that stick behind his shoulder, you know, before he releases it, and then he's able to snap it out quickly, catch the goalie by surprise. You know, I don't know if he's just looking low or if he's giving a little shoulder move, but he's definitely dropping that goalie and then popping it right over his stick.
we got a call here. Looks like Team Cascade left the box early. It's going to be Team Mavericks ball. Down 5 goals. 9 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. And what is the first of 2 halves?
And we've actually got Cascade up 7-2 here on Team Maverick. There we go. The scoreboard is correct. Love it. We had about 10 minutes left in this half. We got 2 30-minute running time halves. These guys are really getting a full game here. A little bit compressed schedule, but little transition chance.
Ooh, tries to thread the needle, drills the defenseman in the chest, and gonna have a transition opportunity. Great handle, early pass. See if they can find the back of the net. Ari Allen. We've said his name multiple times. He's got an assist. That's his first goal. Kid's electric.
Looks like that was on the defensive end. Looks like that was James Capralos out of Carlet Place High School. Did a great job picking up that loose ball, catching it off his chest, coming up with it through pressure though, and you know, that defensive turnover in transition is what helped create that offensive set.
And if you're struggling in your settled offense, which Team Maverick has been early, get those transition goals, get the ball on the ground of your defensive men and run. Absolutely,
Pump a couple in, you know, and let their goalie know you're going to keep shooting. You know, he's not in your head. He hasn't won the game yet. Always a good idea.
Nice ground ball. But the stick work from Tommy Stoll.
Great back check there. 22 from Team Cascade.
He looks like a hockey guy, if you ask me. The way he picks that up, you know, hockey guys just something about it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like when he picked the ball up off the turf.
I'll tell you, we had this year at Wesleyan won the Division III national title, and
yeah, keep reminding us.
I'll keep reminding everybody. We had a kid step in though who'd played hockey this winter and joined the team a little bit late and got in, named Chad Malinowski, and you could tell he's a hockey player out in the field. You can just tell it. But the kid scoops up ground balls like it's nobody's business, and it is such a valuable trait to have for any team. Cade Goldberg, Cardigan Mountain School, looks like it. Yep. So Cade Goldberg, pretty cool story. His dad is Jeff Goldberg, and Jeff played in the NLL. I can't remember where he played in college, but he was a big-time D1 guy, and he was the coach at the St. Andrews School in Boca Raton, Florida, when they won like 12 straight Florida State championships. So Jeff Goldberg, former pro guy, once outscored both Gate brothers in an NLL season.
Wow, that's impressive.
He's here and he's watching, and just said, like all these other guys we talked to, Spolina,
Colsey,
and Roy Colsey, right? They're here as dads, and they really genuinely, these coaches seem to enjoy watching their kids play and just cheering them on, which is really cool to hear.
And how funny was it when we talked to Coach Polina about, you know, being a dad and just enjoying and watching, but he's got to kind of isolate himself. He can't be around. He can't be around everybody else. There's Mulholland again with the rock off the post. It's the only way he's been able to be stopped. And I'll tell you what, if you're Team Maverick on the offensive end for your last, that was the best 6-on-6 possession that we've seen. Taking care of the ball, getting to good spots, and Goldberg with a berry. Nice shot from Reed Landon from Episcopal School, Dallas. And that last assist, goal earlier. Still getting the possession is Team Maverick. Great defense from Team Cascade. Try to feed it inside. Good defense. How about the ground ball work from Bobby Van Buren? Nice job off the turf. Great pass there from the Tendy. Cascade looks to push in transition. Mulholland again with the rock. See, he's wearing the GoPro there. Throws the ball away. Empty possession for Team Cascade, who's looked very good on the offense thus far. 4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in this opening half of the 2021 Showtime All-Star Game. Some high-quality lacrosse being played by these young men. And Maverick goes offsides. Gonna be Cascade ball. That's one there. If you're the last guy, you got that responsibility. You got to stay back. Sent the pole over. Just didn't. Last midi coming over midfield. Did not check and went off sides. So now Mulholland again with the ball. Inverting the short stick behind at X. Good handle. Blake Borges again off ball, working without it. It's a great catch. It's a good feed from Mulholland. It's a great catch by Borges and a nice finish.
His second of the night. Number 9, Blake.
So Mulholland initiate the offense, head up, draws the slide, the cut. How about that handle? And the bury from Borges.
Cascade leads Team Maverick 8-4.
Extending the lead to 4 for Team Cascade. Connor Wilson is currently working his way down to the sidelines to get some interviews with the players, the coaches. Expect to get him back on as soon as he makes his way down these stairs. Missed opportunity for Cascade. Maverick now clearing the ball.
So Greg, I'm coming down here on the sideline, and I think we got to talk to Mulholland here.
Oh yeah, kid's been electric.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, you're getting love in the broadcast booth. You're wearing the GoPro. You got the shorts tucked into your spandex. You got the navy arm pads on, right, way up on your elbow. Love it. How are you enjoying this game, and how does it kind of compare to the games you guys have been playing against the other teams out here?
It's like great competition. Bunch of great players, the best around. It's tons of fun. Just gotta keep going hard and just have fun.
It's great. What kind of coaching advice, too, are you getting out here? I mean, it's not just games. The guys are actually trying to help you get better. And what's kind of one of the more valuable lessons that you've heard this week or that you've learned?
Move the ball. Keep moving until you have an open shot. Have an open shot, shoot it.
I like that. Teamwork. And then kill it when you can, right?
When you can, baby. That's right.
Love it. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Excellent stuff. And looking for a couple more goals out of you in this game. Keep rocking. Awesome.
Connor, tell him that this Buckeye up here thinks that the future committed Wolverine looks pretty good.
So, hey, you're even getting compliments from an Ohio State guy up in the booth, right? You're a Michigan commit? That's awesome. Well, congrats on that. And if a Buckeye's paying you compliments, you got to be in a good spot. So keep it up. Well done.
So obviously he was committed prior to the rule change, something that we talked about in the open, Connor.
Yeah, very, very limited number of recruits who were allowed to commit in this class, or who were able to before the rules changed. But he is one of them, and he's been really slick out here, and I like his style. I like the shorts tucked into the spandex. That's a look.
A little bit of swagger.
Yeah, Paul Rabel would be proud.
Another feed inside. Maverick does a better job collapsing on the backside. They got a pinch, cover that crease.
Hey, what's going on? What's your name?
Dylan Farley.
Dylan Farley. Check out this stick. Can I hold this just for 1 second? Look at this. Look at this face-off stick. This thing it's been used. It's not brand new? No? This is probably the most abused face-off stick I've ever seen. Congratulations.
Hang on,
it
Connor.
looks fantastic.
We didn't get that on film. Can you bring that back so we can take a look?
Yeah, here, one more. Can you guys see this? Can you see the angle on this stick?
There it is.
Somebody needs to produce a head like this. I'm a big fan. Awesome stuff, man. Good luck out there.
2 goals, 2 assists.
Good first half out there.
Good first half, 8-4.
8-4.
8-4. So the first 30 minutes done is some good lacrosse.
We're gonna grab a referee here. Actually, we're gonna grab both the referees. What do you guys think? We got cameras up here. What do you guys think of the first half? How's the kind of action out on the field been? You guys are playing clean?
They're playing clean. They're giving us a game that we want to have. No flags down. A couple of simple play-ons, and we're good to go.
Nice. So are you guys going to throw some flags just to like spice it up a little bit?
Perhaps.
Connor, make sure those guys are hydrating. Tell them to make sure they get water here at halftime.
Absolutely. Greg Bice says make sure you guys are hydrating, get some water in you. You know, these are cool ref shirts. Zima Gear did a great job, right?
I like them very much. Thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thanks, fellas.
Right off of Arthur Avenue in the Bronx, New York. Voted the best butcher of New York by the New York Daily News.
With that, we're going to send it to break. Interview we did with Carcaterra prior to the start of today's game.
The idea about Showtime was pretty simple. We wanted to capture the growth of the game of lacrosse from a coast-to-coast perspective, because so many recruiting events and exposure events in the past specifically focused on where the hotbeds were in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So our goal with Showtime was to capture those great players from traditional markets, but also have a coast-to-coast feel in regards to the growth of lacrosse and all the great lacrosse that was been played across the country, and kind of capture that at this event. So we have kids from the Pacific Northwest at this event, the Southeast, then you have middle of America, everywhere. So we have the best players in the country from coast to coast, and I think we've seen that there are great players everywhere now, and it's not just a regional base. It was actually fun because two of my buddies from Syracuse, Mike Springer and Joe Seglia. Joe Seglia is from my town in Yorktown, New York, who I never played in college lacrosse at Syracuse with, but just a couple years behind me. And Mike Springer, who's from New Jersey, played at Syracuse too, but behind me and never on the same team. But the Syracuse lacrosse community is really cool based on the fact that everyone knows everyone. And we kind of had similar goals and visions of what we wanted to do with this event, make it really intimate, have kids from all across the country come here, but have it in a really cool...
Getting ready to get started.
And we are back for the second half of Game 1, the 2021 Showtime Lacrosse All-Star Game, brought to you by Lacrosse All-Stars. So it was a good first half. You heard the officials say a clean first half. Connor Wilson trying to get him to throw some flags. We'll see if we get any here in the second half. But an 8-4 lead. Cascade has looked very crisp on their settled offense, moved the ball extremely well. Maverick had some success in transition, but hasn't been able to beat the Cascade defense in their 6-on-6 sets regularly. Good ball movement, shot, just wide. Ari Allen's going to start with it. Young man who's having himself a very nice game thus far. See the footwork and the speed.
So we get another player here on the sideline who had quite a first half, really played well. Nunes is the last name, right? What's the first name? Matthew Nunes out of Texas. Greg Bice was very excited.
Yes, I am.
He's a current Texas, or a former Texas guy. He played at Ohio State. He in lacrosse up in the Northeast against some really, really talented players.
It's really awesome competing against like the best people. It's really fun to come out on the East Coast and play against great kids. Texas is growing in lacrosse, but getting to compete against the best is where it's at.
So do you hope that you can kind of take some of the things you've seen and learned here and maybe bring some of that back to your teammates and kind of help the Texas lacrosse scene continue to grow and improve? Because, as you said, it has gotten a lot better. And the lacrosse down there is really good, but there are those next steps. And do you want to be part of that, taking it back, growing the game?
Yes, sir. Like, all of Texas is really, like, taking a step up. And just bringing this speed down to Texas will really help.
So that's a great point. Is this game a little faster than the other games that you played in during this week was because it's an all-star game, or is just the entire tempo of this camp a little bit faster than what you've been playing back home?
Texas is playing fast since we have really great athletes, but like this is faster than my age group in Texas, but we still compete really well. But this game is a lot isn't a lot faster, but it's still faster than like the regular games.
So do you think that this kind of experience is a good kind of prep thing for you and when you're trying to move up to the next level, you know, win a state championship and then play in college, that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir. I think this experience is really helpful for sure.
That's awesome. Well, great job out there in the first half. Best of luck, man. Love these gloves. Looking good.
You hear the yes, sir? That's how you know he's a Texan.
There you go. I wasn't sure if you were saying yes, sir, yes, sure.
No, it's yes, sir.
It's an old Super Troopers joke for anybody who got that one. Not a great joke.
Hey, how about the goal there from Johnny Cobb?
Beautiful.
The footwork, that was fancy footwork, gets to the middle, buries the shot. And there's been some great goaltenders that have come out of the state of Texas over the last 5 years.
And I thought, you know, Matt Nunes there made a bunch of great points about the speed of the game and bringing it back and how they have great athletes in Texas playing the sport and how it is fast. And they play fast, but how there's a step up because every player here can run and gun and shoot and do it all. And it's kind of cool to see that. Maybe we'll see a Maverick Showtime Texas someday. Wouldn't that be crazy?
That would be crazy, but not the craziest idea you've ever had.
No, I've had some terrible ideas.
Well, that one wasn't terrible. So now Kenley controls. Maverick getting their personnel on. How about the range there from Aiden Kenley? Split move to the left and then just hammers it low and away.
Number 10, Aiden Kenley.
Textbook shot there from Kenley. You're going to see him square up his defender. The split, and he shoots this one from range. Kid can absolutely bring it.
No question about it. 9-5 game here. We're getting tight, getting exciting. Gotta love it.
Face-off battle's been pretty even.
So you got one of these new Havoc heads, right? Did you just get that this week? What do you think about it? Pretty sweet.
Super light. Still super stiff though, which is nice.
Nice, yeah. They sent me one. I was impressed. It almost felt like an O head, but for a D guy, which I like. What do you think about the blue?
Looks nice with the gray. It really does.
The blue is bright. Now, did you string this stick yourself?
Oh, I had a friend do it.
You had a friend do it. Can how many guys here? Let's see. Raise your hands. How many guys can string their own stick?
Was that nobody?
1, 2. 2. All right. 2 ain't bad. You know, that's not bad. All right. Fellas, I'm going to tell you, it's worth it. Learn how to string your own sticks, definitely. At least the basics. You know your weapon, know your wand, right? Be Harry Potter. You guys don't watch Harry Potter? You do. See, he loves Harry Potter. See, that's what I'm saying. Good books. See, he doesn't even watch the movies. My man, reading. College-bound athlete right here, reading books.
There we go. Read. I'm a big reader. Before I had kids, now I don't have time.
Excuses.
And I want to tell you this, I got to come clean. I do not know how to string a lacrosse stick, so judge me as you will.
You like high pocket and you can't string a stick? Greg. Oh. You know what, I'm going to string you up a stick.
I'll take it.
Yep. Convert you to the mid pocket.
You convert me to the mid pocket, but I'm probably not learning how to string a stick at this point, so.
Hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Nice save there for Team Cascade. Charlie Schlein, the new goaltender. Nunez got the start. Obviously just split halves. Nunez had a great first half, and Schlein off to a good start. Not able to advance the ball. It's going to stay with Team Maverick. So Maverick settles in, gets their personnel. Reed Landon, number 9, with the ball. Called his name multiple occasions, got goals and assists. Number 12 now, Will Shipley. Gets in. Ari Allen not able to handle. So comes up with this loose ball. Nice ground ball and flip from Joseph Todaro out of Cary High School. So now possession here for Team Cascade, an important one. They just played a lot of defense. Give your defense a little bit of rest. Get some fresh legs on. And Ray Mulholland back out there. He's having a great game for White. Along with Sakis here, who's been phenomenal feeding and scoring. Tries to slip it through, but great heads-up play by Alex Zepp, the new goaltender for Team Maverick.
Coming out of Chaminade.
Coming out of Chaminade.
Long Island's finest.
So 9-5, 4-goal lead for Cascade. 22 minutes remaining in the final half of play. What's been a good lacrosse game. Nice check from the defender. Between the gloves and rip. Possession now.
We got a little rain coming down here on field side.
I was just about to ask how conditions are down there, Connor.
The seem to be used to it.
What percentage of these guys' high school field is a grass field?
That's a good question. I'm going to ask these guys. Hey, how many of you guys for high school games on grass? 1, 2, 3. Who put grass games? Turf, grass, turf, 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 turf or grass for your high school games? Grass.
Oh, wow.
So we have 4 guys in this team on the sideline who play on grass in high school.
Do they all go to the same school? That's amazing to me. I thought it would have been a lot lower.
We actually had, we did the broadcast for the NCAA Men's Collegiate Lacrosse Association Championships. One of their teams playing in the finals, before they came out to the NCAA Championships, they had like 10 kids in their team who had never played a game on grass their entire. You'd think they'd have beautiful.
Nice take for Team Cascade there. Number 21 now subbing the long stick midfielder Sean Fox out of Fairfield Prep.
So I'm going to grab Will Shipley here. We hear Will, a lacrosse recruit, but a multi-sport athlete, right? You're a football player?
Yes, sir.
And you've got a couple offers, right, to play some pretty big-time football?
Yes, sir.
That's amazing. So how is this, how are you kind of focused on the sport of lacrosse and then also focused on the sport of football? Because it seems like both of them would require a lot of time and dedication. What's that like about being a high-level player for both sports?
Yeah, you know, it's definitely hard, you know, both sports being like pretty big in my life. You know, I love both of them, about even really. But, you know, just finding time for both of them is really important to me. You know, not making one bigger than the other right now at such a young age. So, you know, it's just been a really great ride, and I want to keep on doing it. So.
That's awesome. I played football and lacrosse in college at Wesleyan University in Connecticut, and I had a great a multi-sport athlete. So I hope maybe you think about trying to continue that. If you don't, though, what would your advice be to a younger kid, a 6th or 7th grader who's thinking about giving up one of their sports to focus on one of the others?
Yeah, you know, you definitely want to carry both all the way throughout high school at least. You know, don't throw it away because you think you like one or are better at one than the other. You know, just carry it all the way throughout. Don't make a premature decision, and you know, just enjoy it while you can.
This is very mature.
I was just about to say he's a very mature young man. Ask him what position he plays in football.
What position you play in football? You running back?
Yes, sir. Running back and safety.
There we go.
Running back and safety, playing both ways. A little Iron Man football. You big hitter?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, and a big hitter and a smile. I love this guy.
Out of Weddington High School?
Yeah, Weddington High School. So do you have an idea right now if you would go football or lacrosse, or are you still just keeping that door open, playing both?
Yeah, I'm definitely keeping the door open. You know, I don't want to make that decision right now. I just want to enjoy both of them.
That's awesome. Well, if you want to come and play a little high-level D3 football and lacrosse, come on to Wesleyan. We'd love to. I'm recruiting nonstop. Can't help it. All you guys come to Wesleyan. Yeah, no. So I mean, that's what you're seeing. A lot of these guys are fantastic athletes. Not just fantastic lacrosse players.
Ooh.
And that's an exciting thing.
How about that finish there? Reed Landon, the nice goal. Man, he's been awesome. And then on the other end, we were talking through Johnny Keebe's other goal, number 13 in white, earlier to make it 10 for Cascade. The fancy footwork, and then the answer we saw right there from Reed Landon, making it 10-5. 10-6, excuse me. That makes it 10-6.
Got a good game here. I'm enjoying it, even in the rain. I like lacrosse in the rain. I think people who don't are, missing something. There's an element to be said for playing in the nature's elements.
Mm-hmm. Whatever it takes. What about lightning? Do you like playing in lightning?
So I do have a crazy lightning story, and that would be playing box lacrosse in Prague. They do not have the same lightning safety rules that we do, and you're playing in a mountain floor. Are we gonna maybe call this game for my safety's sake? I don't really want to get electrocuted. And their answer was, "Don't worry, the light towers are taller than you." So.
Well, did anybody get hit?
Nobody got hit.
All right,
so they were spot on. So they didn't have safety doors in their elevators. If you can get to the Czech Republic, I highly recommend it.
It's a great tournament that you played in. One that's on my bucket list. I haven't been able to cross that off yet.
Oh, yeah. It is a must-attend tournament, the Alessia Besky over.
Looks like the rain's starting to come down a little bit more here.
It is definitely coming down, but these guys have not slowed down whatsoever, and none of the guys on the sidelines are trying to find cover. They're in it. They don't even notice.
Oh, what a save.
What a save by number 2.
Alex Zepp.
Alex Zepp.
Chaminade High School.
He's made some great stops.
Yeah, he's really poised. He's not 6'4". He's not a monster out there, but he's very poised. He's very calm. He doesn't guess as to where the ball is going. He waits, makes the read, and makes the save.
Yeah, you saw the patience there, right? He held, and then matched sticks. So Team Maverick with the possession, down 4, 15 minutes remaining. See who's going to initiate the offense. Going to be the party starter for Team Maverick. Got to have a guy that can break down a defense. Great feed. Ooh! Great feed inside from Kenley, and the hammer from Luke Walters. Just not able to find the back of the net. Puts it on the post, but that thing was moving.
That's a great opportunity right there. Made a nice ding.
And Walters out of the Brunswick school. Cascade trying to play fast, turns it over. So not sure you can see this on your screens at home, but it is raining. Something fierce right now.
Yeah, see if we can get camera to zoom in on the rain coming down from the light towers.
Connor, you're. What's that doing? What's that doing for these players and their skill?
Yeah, I mean, initially when I think the first kind of hint of wetness starts to come onto the field, the ball just picks up a little bit of slickness, and the ball starts to kind of fly a little bit high on you, and then guys start to adjust to that. And as the rain soaks into their mesh, the pockets bag out, the strings extend a little bit, and all of a sudden it's throwing a little bit lower than you thought it would, and then everything is wet, and the grip goes out, and it creates a real inconsistent feeling for a lot of guys, especially if they have any problems with their stick. If you have a bit of whip, when it rains, you have a lot more whip. If you have a stick that doesn't have any hold or has very little hold and then it rains, you've got even less. So that's just one of those things, changes your stick by 5%, 10%. And modern mesh and sticks have come a long way and reduced this problem from when you and I were playing with kind of your more traditional hard mesh or soft mesh or traditional pocket. But it definitely does still make a difference, and it makes it even more impressive when you see a goal like that.
Yeah, and how about the guy you interviewed, very mature young man. How about the look inside to Tanner Burns? Take on rain and wet lacrosse. Gonna hear it anyways. Slap checks still feel the same. Violation against Team Cascade. I believe that's the third or fourth violation that we've seen in this half. The 3-goal game, a chance to cut it to 2. 12 minutes remaining. Team Maverick with the ball. Team Maverick wearing red, Cascade in white. Looks like the offense is going to initiate here. Nice split dodge, look inside. A little bit of a force. That's a tough feed there to handle as you're working away from the pass.
Yeah, it's really hard to catch that over-the-shoulder pass as you're running away from the feeder and towards the goal. You know, it had the timing, the pass, the catch, everything has to be perfect for that to work out.
Yeah, it's a little bit of fool's gold. I feel like young players often want to throw that, dodging from up top, feeding the crease. It's such a hard pass unless the guy's working back to you and curling back to you, which is very rarely the case. A lot of times young players will throw that in. The guy will catch it, but he just gets collapsed on by the interior defense, the rest of the off-ball defense. So.
And you think it's there, right? Because you work on over-the-shoulder catching during clearing and all, you know, in other parts of the game contextually that works.
Nice take there. And goal from Griffin Schultz. Splits the double team, gets to the middle. He's a good-looking athlete, big frame. You see him take the pressure here. And here he comes, gets to the middle. Splits the double team, nice roll in the 5-hole bury. Griffin Schutz out of Deerfield Academy.
Really strong program up at Deerfield. I mean, for decades since the Strebels were there, I mean, they've just been top-notch school.
Matt Strebel, former teammate of mine. One of the best there is in our sport. Just a fantastic. Fortunate to call him friend. You're out. So good.
I believe he also played players too. Talk about multi-sport athletes.
Yes, great soccer player.
There you go. Talk about a great soccer player.
Yeah, he was good. I actually played some soccer with him.
Big soccer guy. I would have guessed you're a football guy coming from Texas with your size and your beard.
Well, I lived a couple years in Central America, and all they play is soccer.
It's a different kind of football.
It's a different kind of football, that it is. So Ari Allen now with the ball. Ooh! Goes for the behind the back. Barry not able to put it on.
Low angle. Nice little job though, trying to you know, catch the goalie sleeping a little bit, see if he's already kind of paying attention to that X guy, and if you could just sneak it past him.
No angle, no problem. Just over 9 minutes remaining. 11-7 lead for Team Cascade. Oh, that's from deep.
I like that. That was the sir.
Yeah, it was an easy save for Charlie Schlein. Opportunity now. Great job by the defense getting their stick up there. I didn't see who that was, but great job to deflect the shot from Johnny Keebe, who's been awesome in this game. Mavericks done a much better job in the second half in their 6-on-6 offense. Saw the slide from the defense, unable to put it on, and deflected. Your guy Mulholland there with a nice take. Better defense. So plenty of time here, 8 minutes, 30 seconds remaining, 4-goal lead for the team in white, Team Cascade. Team Maverick wearing red and gray.
You got to be a big fan of these color combos out here.
I didn't want to say it, but I really like the look. Didn't want to be too biased. Nice save again. These goaltenders have all been fantastic for both teams, both halves. Well, I guess that's why they made the All-Star game, huh?
Does make sense, but yeah, no, I mean, and it's not just stopping the ball either, right? They've been really good on the clear. They've been picking off passes. They're engaged with their defense and being leaders out there. It's a lot more than just standing there and getting hit by a lacrosse ball. These guys are very impressive young men in the goal and their ability to take lead of a defense, many of whom they don't know that well. Good take there. I would have loved to have seen him, A, shoot that overhand, and B, keep running.
He's done a great job, John Key, with just getting his hands free.
Oh, absolutely.
Not a lot to shoot at. Nice save again. Goaltenders right on cue. Give some love to the tendies. How about this speed here?
You can see why he's a stud high school running back.
I'd give him the ball.
Yep.
Man, he can run. Whoa, another acrobatic save.
Goalie number 2, Alex Zepp.
Zepp. Chaminade. He's closing the door. Ground ball. 4-team Maverick. That's Jake Dolentino out of Manhasset High School. Rain continues to fall. Not as heavy as it was earlier. Getting Kenley now with the ball. A nice job creating offense. Ooh, started off as a great save. Turns into an easy goal for Tanner Burns. Right place, wrong time. Or excuse me, right place, right time. Picks up the loose ball. Closes the gap to 3 with just over 5.5 minutes remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, do yourselves a favor.
Gonna see Kelly initiate here. Pulls the trigger. The left-handed rip. The rebound. The patience and the bury. Nice job from Tanner Burns. Connor Wilson has made his way back up to the booth. Did a nice job down there talking to the players. Some great young men.
Yeah, I gotta say I was really impressed by the character and the ability of these guys to answer some questions. You know, when they're in the middle of playing a game and I'm coming over to ask them kind of silly questions, and they're, you know, able to stay focused and give me a decent answer. But just some high character kids. I was very impressed with the answers and, you know, just the tone and kind of general level of excitement of being here.
It's hard to, at any age, to have a microphone in your face and to speak, talking about how hard our job is. but honestly, you know, for a high school kid to have the composure and to speak as eloquently as they did is pretty impressive.
And I love the yes sirs.
I love I'm a huge yes sir guy.
Love the yes sirs.
I was a Texan, am a Texan, I probably shouldn't say was, and my dad was military, so.
There you go.
Yes, sir. No, sir. I don't understand, sir. Those are your responses that you're able to give. But on that note, from a coaching perspective, you know, one of the things that I think is so important for these young players is when they're getting coached is to give that yes, sir, no, sir. It's just a verbal cue. Maybe it doesn't have to be sir, but yes or no, and not make excuses or try and, you know, give a reason why they did what they did. You know, as a young player, a coach comes up and says, hey, you know, Connor, here's where you can improve, here's where you can do better. The correct answer is, okay, coach, thanks, I really appreciate it, and I'm going to try and implement that. Not, well, here's what happened, and here's what I saw, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
No question. No question about it. I mean, that is a huge differentiator between the kind of kid who, if they get a penalty or they lose a ground ball or whatever, they're going to fight to get it back, or they're going to do something to make their team better instead of coming back and blaming somebody else or asking a question, you know, saying, why would the ref call that? You know, well, because he slashed him in the face. You know, it's, don't do that. Like, there are some pretty basic things. So the kids that say, like, what did I do? What can I do differently? You know, those are the ones that I think have a lot of potential to continue to grow as players. Yeah.
Tanner Burns there with another goal. Nice rip.
We're getting tight here. We had Cascade going out to a pretty big lead early in the game, kind of maintained it for a while. Team Maverick doing a great job, come back, pulling the game within 2 here to 11-9 with just under 3 minutes left.
Yeah, Tanner Burns there. I don't think the defense realized his range. Steps in and lets it fly. And Shipley, who was so impressive in his interview, saw his speed, the football player and lacrosse player.
He did a lot of good things. You know, he's not necessarily the kind of player who's going to wow you with, like, wow, that was an he just dodged through 4 guys. But he's got speed, he plays hard, he plays physically, and he makes smart passes. You know, and he plays team lacrosse. If you want to be a successful college player, I think those are a bunch of pretty good attributes to have. We got a flag.
Yeah, we're going to have a flag here, and that's going to be a cross check.
22 there, got the penalty, but at the same time, what's he doing? He's running right off the field.
Yep.
He didn't argue. He didn't look. He didn't even look back at the official. The official just said 22, cross check, and he ran right off the field. And that, you know, you're going to get a penalty, right? That's going to happen in your career. It's how you react to getting that penalty.
I had 1 penalty 1 time.
1 penalty 1 time. That's it. I think I had a couple more than that.
Yeah, I had.
Oh yeah, no, nothing. I actually managed to get benched my freshman year for getting 4 slashing penalties in a game.
1 more and you were out.
1 more and I would have been out for that game and suspended for the next one. So
I've never seen. Oh, look at that! Good offense. I've never actually seen somebody
get ejected.
Get to that number, that 5-minute
No,
mark.
I got the 4 slashes and they were all head or neck. I had just picked up a long stick a couple weeks before. I was dangerous.
Yeah, gotta learn that.
Got to learn how to throw those checks, and, you know, that's another thing we talked to, too, and that I've seen from all of these defensemen out here. They're not throwing the big, open-the-door, 6-foot slash check. They're throwing the 1 to 2 foot poke and slap, and, you know, they're really keeping their sticks pretty maintained, which is good.
You want to be a good defenseman, you got to have great feet. It all starts with the footwork and angles, you know, throwing checks.
Yeah, it's really just it's a 6-foot extension of your footwork.
Ooh. Missed opportunity there with just over 30 seconds left. A 2-goal lead. Ari Allen's got to go here. Good defense. Good look. Handle. Ooh, what a catch. How about the athleticism on that catch? Just to wrangle and corral that ball.
And then to still get the shot off and almost make that happen that was pretty fantastic stuff.
Oh, another save.
And that's one of the plays we're talking about. I mean, that's not a shot that high school players were shooting 10 years ago.
Absolutely
15 years ago, forget about it. And that I think is one of the big things that was on display tonight in this game is that the level of skill for these incredibly young players is so high. It is so much higher than it was, you know, a decade ago. And then you look back further than that, it's a totally different game. It's really quite amazing to watch.
In a great game, an 11-9. You talk about the skill level. These players, obviously, all of them deserve to be here after having a great couple days here at the Maverick Showtime event and making it to the All-Star game, and just for us to be able to witness this level of lacrosse at this age is something special.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And, you know, speaking of that, we're going to actually kick it over to a great interview that we were able to do with Paul Kirkatera, talking about Showtime, talking about this event, why they do it, the genesis of it, you know, what coaches are looking for, what players are getting out of it. And, you know, I don't think that there's anybody in the game who kind of has as good a perspective as Kark does. So check out this interview with Kark and kind of see what makes Showtime tick and why they put in all this effort to make this event happen.
The idea about Showtime was pretty simple. We wanted to capture the growth of the game of lacrosse from a coast-to-coast perspective, because so many recruiting events and exposure events in the past specifically focused on where the hotbeds were in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. So our goal with Showtime was to capture those great players from traditional markets but also have a coast-to-coast feel in regards to the growth of lacrosse and all the great lacrosse that has been played across the country, and kind of capture that at this event. So we have kids from the Pacific Northwest at this event, the Southeast, then you have middle of America, everywhere. So we have the best players in the country from coast to coast, and I think we've seen that there are great players everywhere now, and it's not just a regional base. It was actually fun because two of my buddies from Syracuse, Mike Springer and Joe Seglia. Joe Seglia is from my town in Yorktown, New York, who I never played in college lacrosse at Syracuse with, but just a couple years behind me. And Mike Springer, who's from New Jersey, played at Syracuse too, but behind me and never on the same team. But the Syracuse lacrosse community is really cool based on the fact that everyone knows everyone, and we kind of had similar goals and visions of what we wanted to do with this event, make it really intimate, have kids from all across the country come here, but have it in a really cool core setting. And what I mean by that, there's a one field model here. So if you're a 2020, for example, in your graduating class, you play on one field. If you're a 2021, you play on one field. If you're a 2022, you play on one field. So depending on the grad class that you want to watch, there's only one place to find them. And I think that's been a really cool aspect of this event. And then the kids get to know each other. And then the team camaraderie and the ability to play with that same team over the course of a 3-day span, it's really sweet. I think Showtime's grown with the sport of lacrosse. So over the last 12 years, we're seeing a change in lacrosse in terms of the athletes. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, and they're so skilled. And I think kids are playing more lacrosse than ever, so when they come to an event like this, you're just amazed at how polished these kids are, and their lacrosse IQ is off the charts. And it makes it really cool to watch, and just the growth of the game. You know, we're watching kids who are just starting off in their high school years, and they're making high-level high school type plays from an IQ standpoint, entry-level college type of plays from an IQ standpoint. So I think the growth of the game in emerging areas has kind of closed the gap with those traditional areas too. So not only do we see talented players from non-traditional areas, we see players who have increased IQ. So I would say from those types of markets, we're seeing a more polished, smarter lacrosse player, bigger, faster, stronger across the board. And Showtime, I think, has always captured that growth in the sport of lacrosse. It's a great reflection to where our sport is in terms of the younger generation. So the sport's in great shape. This event, I've seen some of the great players in college lacrosse over the years attend this event. We've had multiple Tewaaraton winners. Guys like Dylan Malloy have been here. Ben Reeves has been here. So it's pretty sweet. We're looking at the next generation of stars. And you could tell, man, these kids have serious game. We have a strong base of coaches across the country, whether they're high school coaches or club coaches in all different geographical areas in this great nation. And what we do is we tap into those resources and find out where those best players are, and they nominate some of the players that they've seen or they've coached in the past. And then they, oftentimes, these coaches will give us their contact information in terms of the player, video highlights, and we kind of vet all of that out. And depending on the position of the kid, depending on the availability in that position and in that grad year, if they're good enough and they go through that whole process, we have a whole committee from Showtime that kind of looks over that process as well. So it's not easy because we do limit the numbers, but I will tell you that the players that are nominated by these coaches across the country are always great players that deserve to be here. Unfortunately, there's only a limited amount of spots, and that's what makes the event so great, but it also makes it harder for some of those other players who probably are good enough to be here, just don't have enough spots. When I look at the 2020s in the last 3 days here, amazing midfield play. I mean, that's what's really popped out for me when I watch all these games and I sit down and I look at the athletes. The full field athletic ability of that group, I think, stood out. And just guys that could shoot on the run, have tremendous velocity in their shots, and they don't break stride when they're dodging down the alley. I think the midfield group has been really, really strong. Obviously, the attack, defense, and goalies are superb players as well, but for me, it was the midfield play in the 2020s. And for the 2021s, just skill, stick skills specifically. I think that group has just a tremendous amount of upside and talent. And when I watch them play, I mean, the attack, the way they move the ball, and the one more in regards to you know, the transition type offense that's been implemented on the field, or if it's the one-on-one play and guys finding teammates and finding seams and defenses on the offensive end, and then the defensive footwork and ability to really understand the game as only freshmen, rising sophomores has been pretty impressive. So 2022s, they're behind me right now, and I'm pumped to watch them the next couple days. For me, selfishly, in calling games for ESPN, I think it's awesome that I get to see so many of these kids that we cover week in and week out in the spring, and just seeing their ability to really flourish at the high level. And for me to kind of go back and say, wow, I saw this kid 3-4 years ago. He was awesome then, and he's getting even better. So I think the sport of lacrosse is in great shape. Over the last 10 years, I think the emerging areas, and specifically out west and in the south, have really done a fantastic job of closing the gap. So for me, I think we're going to see big-time players in the next 10 years come from all different areas. I mean, you look at a place like Utah, for example, that now has Division I lacrosse. They're going to have a young generation that follows the Utes, and I think we're going to see a state like Utah be more prevalent in terms of just being a big fixture in the college game. And California has produced so many great players, and we've had great players here this week. So I think out west we're going to see some fantastic players. I mean, we've seen good ones in the past in college. There's been a lot of guys who've taken their game to another level, whether it's a Drew Snyder from Seattle, Washington, or a Peter Baum from Portland, Oregon, guys who are just incredible college players from non-traditional areas. I think we'll see more of it in terms of like the masses. So I think the game's in great shape. How much bigger, faster, stronger can we get? I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I'm glad I played when I played, because these kids are just so fit. They take their off-season regimen so seriously. They're well-conditioned. You know, they're treating themselves like elite young athletes, where for me it was like, go to the field, stretch, I'm ready to go. I see these guys just razor-focused, and I think the future of lacrosse is in great shape. I am Paul Carcaterra, and I help grow the game.
What do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I said, you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. Cascade, passion to protect.
Jordan Wolf won't pan out.
Joe Walters is overrated.
Joey Sankey won't make it at the next level.
Fire! 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 Fire!
Cool. 2 mics set up. It's very convenient. Yeah.
Live right in.
Right? Can you hear me okay? Hi everyone, my name is Lauren Murray. Hi. I'm going to do an original called Sugar or Cream. I made us coffee. You made your escape. Halfway out the door, when I asked you, sugar or cream, pour me some more love. I said in your voice, I tipped my hand until it all puddled at my feet. That if I didn't leave, alone, deep swallow, since I me some, I killed the bottle. In a little more time. Am I stupid for thinking? Maybe just naive. That if I didn't watch you go, maybe you didn't leave. I'm so stupid for thinking, such a fool to believe that if I didn't watch you go, maybe you didn't leave.
Hello and welcome back to Maverick Showtime. We've got another all-star game on tap here. This time we got the 2020s playing. We've got Team Cascade wearing white. We've got Team Maverick wearing navy. Both teams are in the dark gray shorts, sweet white helmets. Everybody's got Maverick Showtime gloves, looking good. We've got players in this game from the states of New York, New Hampshire, Virginia, New Jersey, Massachusetts, we've got kids from Long Island, Tennessee, Christian Brothers Academy in upstate, Culver Academy in Indiana, Haverford School in Philly. I mean, we're all over the place, and we've got a ton of talent.
Don't forget my two places, Texas and Ohio.
Texas and Ohio, right? We got kids from those places as well. We've also got a couple players who have already committed. Again, these guys committed to their colleges before the new June 1st of junior year rule came in. July 1st or September 1st, whatever it is, the new rule. So, you know, we've only got a couple of these guys who are actually committed to schools already, but you can guarantee with all the talent that you've got out in this field, you've got a lot of guys who are going to be committing quickly because you've got some kids who can ball in this class.
Yeah, you talk about, even for the guys that are committed, we talk about those new roles. They're going to be, even though it says committed next to their name, nothing signed, they're going to be getting calls as well from college coaches. And, you know, it's just from what you hear and what you expect, this is basically, we're in football territory now where nothing's official until it's signed.
Yeah, I mean, even before the new rules, you know, certain coaches, Kevin Corrigan at Notre Dame was very open about the fact that he said if a kid has committed to another school and we think that he's the right academic, athletic, social fit for Notre Dame, and we think that's the best place for him, we're going to recruit him. So they kind of always, and I think you've got more teams now saying with the timing the way that it is, it's open season. You know, until a kid is accepted and signs on the dotted line and says, I'm going here, they're pretty much recruitable. And I think that's kind of a good thing. It pushes everything back and allows kids to make a choice at an older age.
Yeah, and for these kids, it's all about the kids, right? And they should have the options to choose. And maybe they committed to a school the way that it was, especially when you're, how you make an college decision when you're in 8th grade or 9th grade. And
it's very difficult.
It's difficult, right? And so kids change, you know, things change. And so for where we are now, I think it's best for the players.
Yep. And I get the argument, you know, how do you turn down when somebody says you're going to go to Harvard or you're going to go to Virginia? You know, how do you turn that down? But I think if you're that good of a player, if the opportunity exists in 8th grade, it's probably going to exist when you're a sophomore or junior. So,
and it's better for these coaches, too, because they don't have the risk factor of committing to a kid in 9th grade, and the kids look way different when they're, you know, junior year.
That's a great point. We got a 0-0 start here, but both these teams getting after it. These are the oldest guys at Showtime this year, and they're looking to make a mark.
How about that?
Good way to start things off. Good job getting topside, using his body to create a little bit of space for number 7 there. Finn McCullough out of Niskayuna. Top quality program right around the Albany area in the capital region of New York State. And Niskay had another great season this year, and I saw them actually involved in a City Lax kind of beginning of the year with Albany High School, where, you know, Niskay, a very established program, is trying to help the urban program get better. Yeah, it was a really cool thing to see that. George Lavelle, all those guys doing a great job, you know, growing the game up in Albany. But Niskay representing, getting the first goal of this one here.
You know what you got to love if you're a coach watching is just, it's a tough goal, right? You drop your shoulder down, you get topside, and you bury. And you know, there's something to be said about an attackman that just gets to the right spots, is tough, right? Is willing to compete and fight for those extra yards. And then once you get to, you know, once you get to the middle at 5 yards, those, you don't even have to be a good shooter. All you got to do is throw it on net, right? Just don't hit the goalie and it's going in.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is something to that. If you don't know where the ball is going, maybe the goalie doesn't either. You know, at least that's what I was told myself, shooting as a long stick. Maybe don't listen to a couple of former defenders, but. Yeah. It is what it is. But, you know, again, like, you can come around the cage, and as long as you just look high, use your eyes to sell your shot, and then finish low, there's a good chance it's going in.
You see the slickness. It's been raining for probably the past 30 to 45 minutes. It's currently coming down as well. Hard for you to see from the current angle in our camera right here, but it is raining and it is slick, and we talked about the sticks maintaining their integrity and making sure with the pockets that you're adjusted. And opportunity here. Ooh, low and away.
Beautiful. I mean, beautiful piece in transition there. You know, you got Jack Kinney doing a great job at Cherry Creek High School in Colorado, bringing the ball down, drawing a man, and then dumping it off and finding Lucas Delgado out of Brunswick, and he gets the finish. Nice high to low, far side. Not a lot you can do there as a goalie.
Knowing that pass from Kenny. That's a difficult pass for a long stick in not a lot of space with defenders around, and to flip it and hit your target right on the stick is something special.
I love that he put it on a stick. What else I loved about it, he didn't throw a laser. He kind of threw it into space and let his teammate run onto the pass and catch it in front of him. It was just a great look. Not a surprise coming out of Cherry Creek. They've got a fantastic high school program running out there.
I actually played against Cherry Creek High School, my St. Mary's Hall down in Texas. We played against Cherry Creek out in San Diego, believe it or not.
That's amazing. Texas versus Colorado in California.
Yeah.
For the Western guys, I mean, you really did have to travel. Vicious. Just vicious. That was just an unbelievable turn goal there from Ryan McKenzie, Christian Brothers Academy. I'm sure Coach Ricky B is watching.
Right here, the inside rolls, gets to the middle, and look at this. No doubt. Ooh. Nothing you can do if you're the tendy there.
No, that's a tough one. Yeah, did a good job. Used his body, used the defender to shield his stick a little bit. Turned in rotation, changed plans with the shot. Just
You got to be on point to be able to save those.
Face-off win.
Nice face-off
Team
win.
Maverick.
Mavericks number 16, Hudson Bond.
That's number 16, Hudson Bond from Bishop Moore Catholic. Oh, turnover. Right place, right time for Team Cascade.
I thought we might see a hold on that one.
Yeah, we're going to get something.
Again, though, just as we saw in the last game, player gets a penalty, what do?
That's against Jack Kenny, who we saw make the great play in transition there.
Cascade will be man up for 30 seconds.
But again, you know, some props to Jack. You get a penalty. You knew it was a penalty. The ref
They
called
run
it.
off. You don't put your palms up.
Yeah,
you don't
right.
argue.
Hey, you just accept it, and then you kind of focus and say the next time I'm out there, I'm going to play better one-on-one. I'm going to pick up a ground ball. I'm going to, do something to get my team.
Next play.
Get back
and
in it.
For all the kids that are watching us right now, that are out there, that are recruitable age, coaches watch that as much, or if not more, than the skill that they're seeing on the field. They want guys that compete. They want guys that don't put their palms up, guys that run off the field, like you said, and they're thinking next play, next play.
You know, an 18-year-old kid can develop stick skills. An 18-year-old kid can become an athlete. An 18-year-old kid to develop character can be very hard.
They can do it.
They can do it, but it is something that college coaches will not recruit a kid because they don't have that mental toughness or that character, because they're not going to be able to put the work in.
Ooh, how about the cut and finish?
That was beautiful. Big body there coming down the middle. Jack Walsh out of St. Anthony's on Long Island. Just a good finish, nice and fundamental, and a really good look there from Graham Blake.
And the feed.
Yeah, it was a
Graham
great
Blake.
feed.
Number 3, Graham Blake.
Puts that right on the money.
9, Jack Walsh from number 3, Graham Blake.
Jack Walsh evidently does shoot fast enough for black mesh. That's probably one of the best chirps I've ever heard in my life. A goalie makes a save on a player who has a black mesh in his stick, and he yells back at the kid. He says, "You don't shoot hard enough for black mesh."
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's a great chirp because you can see the ball a little bit easier.
Okay, all right, I got
it was probably the best goalie chirp I've ever heard. You don't shoot hard enough for black mesh.
Most goalies that I played with only yelled at me for getting scored on. Mickey Jarbo, if you're out there listening, you know the things you said to me, and they hurt my feelings. I still carry them with me to this day.
Oh man, Mickey Jarbo, bringing back a legend. I remember watching him play for Navy and just thinking,
he's an unbelievable
this guy
goalie.
Is the best goalie I've ever seen. I mean, he was unreal.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to play with him in LA. And
that's awesome.
Just a great teammate out of Navy, and thanks for his service to our country, and just a great guy.
A lot of those Navy guys, even if they don't play pro, a lot of them will continue to play the game. You'll see a GOATS team, which is 60 or 65 plus Navy veterans going out and playing in Placid. When you go to the New Orleans tournament, you've got the Pensacola Riptide, and they're loaded up with ex-Navy players. It's a lot of fun to see a program like that and how long the guys continue in the game.
How about the defense from Liam Fairback?
Great stuff.
Shoots it right there. But you saw the slickness. Great defense. Player falls, picks it up, ground ball, runs the other way. Pulls the trigger there, just not on cage. Top side. Matt Licata. Now we've got the ball coming the other way. In transition. Good handle. Ooh. Thought he had him with the toe drag. Good defense, good breakdown and approach.
He's going to get back in there, though.
I spoke too soon.
But that is another example of exactly what we're talking about, where he loses the ball, throws an ill-advised toe drag, and, what does Graham Blake do? He goes and gets the ball, and then he dodges against this guy and puts a goal in. That's the kind of play we're talking about, right, where it's like you make a mistake, how do you react to it? What do you do afterwards? And Blake did a great job there of reacting in a positive way and, getting something going.
Wow. Splits the double team. And what starts as a great approach by the defense, like you said, Graham then works, gets the ball back, and the defense over-pursues the second time. And he gets to the middle, takes the double team on. No problem, young man.
No problem.
And then the low-to-low, your favorite shot, the worm burner.
Loving it.
You know what? If it goes in, I'm all about it.
As a D guy, I was high to high, maybe a little bit of high to low. But as an O guy, I'm a big fan of the low to low.
And we had a penalty there
on Team Cascade. So it's going to be a man-up opportunity for Team Maverick, already with a 3-goal cushion. Just over 20 minutes remaining in period 1 of period 2. Playing halves here.
Had a good face-off win there from one of our committed players, Kobe Ginder, who's currently committed to Princeton. He plays in New York City for the Horace Mann School.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. They have an extra man. I don't know why. I don't know why Team Maverick was dodging there.
And then turned it over. They didn't have any backup on the shot.
I think that might have been an awareness. I don't know if they knew. There was a dead ball foul. It happened after the last goal. I mean, it's just one where there is an athlete, and as a lacrosse player, you got to be aware of what's going on. Good job handling the pressure. Let's see what we're going to get. It is going the other way.
It was a good ride there defensively there. Charlie Weitzel getting all over it out of Roxbury Latin School in Massachusetts. We used to play them in high school. Preseason scrimmages only.
And for all of you who did not watch the first game, let's just get this out of the way. Connor Wilson, Wesleyan grad.
Yeah.
They won the D3 National Championship.
Yeah, don't make me say it.
I said it for you. All right, we can move on. We don't need to mention it the rest of the broadcast.
Totally fair. Yeah, I was definitely, you know, mentioning Wesleyan to some players in the last game. just bringing it up, putting it on their radar.
That was a great season for them, and congrats to you, Connor, as an alum. And it was an exciting Final Four.
Oh, absolutely. It was a great weekend, and you know, honestly, looking back on it all, for me, it's really cool to see Coach Reba after 22 years at a single school. You know, we made a bunch of Final Fours to finally be able to pull it all together and put a season like that through. It's big.
And they let you carry the trophy, so.
They did. That was a huge mistake on their part. I didn't drop it. I passed the test, so.
All right, so Team Maverick with the ball once again. Quick shot.
Good job there, Team Cascade, getting a bunch of guys in front of the cage.
Nice save.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that hit. I think it might have hit Emmett Carroll. He's got a good-looking frame.
Absolutely.
You know, I think one of the things is a big goalie, just less cage to shoot at. You know, make shooters think twice.
Oh, mentally you're thinking about it. I remember the Jim Sprite for Bridgeport, the Barrage, back in the early days of Major League Lacrosse. You know, he was like the only 6'5" goalie in the league, and he just took up so much of the cage. His stance is really wide. I mean, there was almost nothing to shoot at.
It's a nice job from Sam Chase. And McClay schools find the soft spot, then is able to bury. And the feed from Michael Chabra out of Austin Preparatory. That's a tough feed. We talked about that. He's working downhill. He's throwing back. You saw that feed try to be attempted in the 2021 game multiple times. It led to a turnover. Did not pan out. We talked about that, how that is a really difficult play to make.
And how it's such a tempting play as well,
it is
right? Because
tempting.
you see him. He's
fool's gold most of the time.
Yeah, the over the shoulder. It looks like it's there. It's just the quickness of that situation can be very hard to deal with.
Nice GP. Love good ground ball work. We're going to have a penalty.
Good job there, Tommy Drago out of West Essex High School. Bringing the ball down, drawing a penalty.
Yeah, he took a hit at the end of that play.
Yep.
But he gets up. Get some high fives and fist pounds from his squad, Team Cascade. So Team Cascade was able to convert on their last man-up opportunity. They hit the crease. Good patience. Ooh.
Ring the pipe. That was some heat there from Jack Kelly out of Culver Academy.
That was a hammer.
That's really kind of an amazing school story about turning your lacrosse program up a notch. I mean, to have Culver in Indiana doing what they're doing is just beyond impressive. Yeah, they recruited in a lot of talent, but at the same time, you know, they are raising the level of play in Indiana and around the country.
How about that split? Ooh, it's a great take. Better save. Team Maverick in the cage is Benjamin Anastos, Concord Carlisle.
CC, old school DCL. Played at Weston High School in Massachusetts, my high school lacrosse. Our first ever game was against Concord Carlisle High School.
All right.
I think they beat us 19-2.
Okay.
Not a great first game for us.
Well,
they were the #1 team in the state at the time.
It only gets better from
It
there.
did. It couldn't have gotten worse. Yeah, for Massachusetts lacrosse back in the day, they were something special. I mean, they were sending kids to Georgetown, North Carolina, Colgate regularly. And not a lot of other schools in Mass were doing that back in the day.
Good defense.
A sneaky take.
It was a sneaky take. I think he had the ball on his stick a little too long. Finn McCall, we saw him get topside earlier in the game to that left hand. He comes back with the right hand there. It's the backhanded flip, which we're seeing more and more.
When you talk about being sneaky, being deceptive, having every pass in your arsenal, being able to pass the ball from any position on the field, I think the backhand stuff makes a big difference.
How about that shake?
That's a great topside dodge.
Lucas Delgado. A little lightning in that first step.
Another Brunswick guy. Makes sense that they were one of the top teams in the country this year.
There's the replay. Let's see that shake.
Ooh.
All right. Maverick having a nice long possession here. This is hard on a defense. You grind him down, you wear him down. Especially in an all-star game setting where you don't have that chemistry.
Yeah. And, I mean, the backside support, you don't have the second slide always lined up. I mean, all of that kind of stuff is key to defensive success.
And then on the offensive side, you see no backup there.
Yep. Yeah, there's no backup. The last skip pass that was attempted was probably a little ill-advised. I mean, you do miss some of those high-level things, so that's why these showcases are great, because they are a combination of individual skill and effort and ability, as well as your ability to play within a pretty basic team setting.
Nice ground ball. Trey Scotty from Salisbury School. Ooh, and a collision at midfield behind the play. Oh, and the feed. What a look.
Great finish. It looks like Mac McLean with the finish out of Sierra Canyon High School. He's committed to Bucknell currently. Looks like that was Brett Daubert out of Westy.
Look at this feed.
Another Westminster player.
Wow.
So I don't know what kind of shooter Brett Daubert is, but he definitely passes fast enough for Black Mesh.
Because
that was a great feed. I mean, he put it in the only place he could have put it for that to be a finish and a goal.
So extends the lead to 3 for Team Maverick. You give Trey Scotty credit for that goal, starting on the defensive end with the loose ball to pick up. A good decision making.
Number 10, Brett Daubert. Number 5, McLean from number 10, Daubert. Maverick leads Cascade 5-2.
Looks like Team Maverick won that one on a violation, and they're going to get another chance here on offense to extend their lead from 3 goals.
The rain is let up. There's some fog rolling in.
I gotta say, I mean, I know you played in the horseshoe, right? That's what you guys call it?
I actually did not.
You did
play
not?
in
No,
the
you guys
horseshoe.
didn't.
We didn't play there until after I was done.
All right.
We used to play at Jesse Owens, the Snake Pit.
Ah, I like it. I like the small venues. But I gotta say, for a Division III school, I am incredibly impressed by the facilities here at Western Connecticut State.
Oh, they're great facilities.
This is a legitimate stadium.
And kids have been here in the dorms. It's a great experience for kids. Some of my best memories from lacrosse are going to that camp experience where you're in the dorms, you're making new friends, you're meeting new people. Get almost that college experience, right? You're eating the dorm food, you're getting up on a schedule, you're going to work, going to class, and I guess you're not really going to class, but you're getting the lacrosse class.
Yeah. I went to one lacrosse camp when I was a high school kid growing up, and even before that, I didn't do a lot of sports specialization. But that 1 week at Springfield College, I think it was the summer before my senior year or summer before my junior, made a huge difference.
What camp was that?
I think it was called it was maybe the blue chip camp, but it wasn't the good blue chip. It was
Okay.
like the open, anybody could. I was the oldest kid there, but the counselors took a lot of time with me and helped me
awesome.
develop my game. And they invited me to come back the next week for the select week, but I had to work. My landscaping job was calling me, so had to get back. Priorities.
Well, got to be able to pay for camp. Ooh,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was the only kid who showed up to camp with their own car. It was still a great experience. I really did learn a lot, though. I don't think there's enough developmental camps, so you can get goals like this from Michael Chapper.
How about this release? Just continues to run, gets to a good spot, and that ball just springs out of his stick.
Yeah, a nice little flourish with his stick, too, to kind of get the goalie thinking that maybe he's going to shoot, and then he whips it right through at the end, snaps his entire body around, and does a great job hiding the head of the stick behind his shoulder. And
he avoided the trail check as well.
Avoided the trail check, yeah. Kept the stick in tight, got it active. We got a game here. Kobe Ginder, New York City guy, coming up with the ball. I'm a New York City guy, so I was always happy to see kids coming out of the 5 boroughs who, can play a little Division I lacrosse.
Yeah, you're speaking in another language, boroughs and
boroughs.
I don't know what those are.
They're like counties.
Okay.
But different.
But not.
I guess because they're smaller. I don't know. Looks like most. Oh, what a great defensive read there. Wonder if that guy plays football.
The pickoff was from Ryan McKenzie at the Christian Brothers Academy. Like a cornerback there with a closing speed, or safety just picking that thing off and hitting the gas. But good job by Maverick of shutting that down and not allowing a transition goal.
Good physical defense there, just nice and fundamental.
You love good short stick D.
Oh, yeah.
It's the toughest position to play.
No question. I think it's why you see less and less freshmen and sophomores being put in as D-middies to work their way up, and you have more and more seniors being put as D-middies, and it's now a valued position in high school and college.
What a move.
That was a great goal. Just topside, getting the step, getting that stick around.
Vito Periello from St. Anne's Belfield. Stab. And you see this little shimmy, shake, the split.
Great jump split. Where both feet are coming off the ground. He's planting and only putting pressure on one.
I've never been a big fan of the jump split, but I think probably just because I can't do it. When we watch Vito right there, that young man make that move.
Woo! Now you're a fan. Got to hit the speed ladder.
If I moved like that, I would have that in the arsenal.
That would be a different world. Be a different world. Big man like yourself moving that fast, I would be very scared.
Putting his defender on skates.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another face-off win for Mavericks. Been dominant. Only up 1. Seems like they've started with the ball on the offense. I love to hear, you can hear the kids communicating out there and talking, which is such a crucial part of being a next level athlete.
Yeah.
Talking, communicating, making your teammates better.
A silent defense is a defense that's going to get scored on.
That's
it's just
great point.
You got to talk, you got to chatter, and and as an offensive player, if you hear a defensive really talking to each other, it's a little intimidating. You're thinking, man, these guys have they have their act together. Maybe we really got to come up with something good here. They're calling out 1s and 2s and
get a little nervous.
Yeah, everybody's getting back in.
Throw the ball away.
Well, I think that's an underrated statistic too. We talk about caused turnovers and ground balls and all that kind of stuff, but what about when a team defense forces another team to throw the ball away? That turnover is worth as much as the takeaway.
Yep.
Yeah. And yet that's not necessarily a stat that we track. We just see turnovers in general from a game, but you don't know were they a forced turnover, an unforced turnover. I'm always interested.
Should we track like decibel level for defense, whichever defense is the loudest?
The louder defense, I like that.
Nice job running that ball out.
A little hustle play making all the difference.
Hustle play for number 20, Charlie Weitzel, at Roxbury Latin School.
Love it.
Obviously, you're better versed in the New England schools than I am, high schools. Doing my best to learn.
A lot of good lacrosse. My dad, though, was actually also he was a Cleveland, Ohio guy.
Okay.
And then went to the Rivers School in Massachusetts where he played lacrosse. So I started to kind of get a little bit of info on the private school scene, and all the public schools were just developing in Massachusetts when he was in high school in the 60s. Good look across there.
Yeah, teams are doing such a good job of running that shallow cut. You draw the early slide, you hit the throwback, and right there, good look. Just not able to put it on cage. Oh, the cut. Great feed. Good save.
It was a really patient feed.
It was a
He
patient
wasn't
feed.
open originally, you know, but you could see that he was going to slip out and get in, get the step, and he just kind of hitched and waited and then made that pass.
Oh, and they're giving Cascade the ball. I'm not sure what's going on. The officials are getting it right. All right, and it's going to stay with Team Maverick. But that feed was a spot feed. He threw it to space.
Yep.
Let his player run onto it.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't always, as long as you put the ball where the defender can't get it, you know, there's a good chance that your teammate will be able to get it. So you don't necessarily need to be able to laser it right at his face or his head or put it right into his stick. You can just put it in front of him.
Is that science?
I believe that's science, I think.
Oh, the toe drag. We've seen a couple of those. Ooh. And the check.
Getting
right
it
there.
back, though. Another good feed to the middle.
From Ellison Burt Murray.
Finishes. That was a tough handle inside. Definitely had to be worried about getting popped there. But
a lot of action there between the lines. Results in another goal for Team Cascade.
Yeah, you know, you talk about the last minute of a half or the last minute of a quarter as being kind of a dangerous time when a lot of goals can get scored. I always think of any time things are chaotic, right? Anytime there was a failed clear and then a repossession, watch out for a goal. Right. Anytime there are those kind of chaotic breakdowns. Yeah.
And right there, Carter Henry delivers for you.
McCallie School out of Tennessee. We've got a really good lacrosse program going down in McCallie. They've sent a couple of kids play D1 lacrosse. You know, Owen Collins played at Mercer.
Nice face-off for Team Maverick, number 16, Hudson Bond.
Long pull they're handling, rolling back to the inside, shooting with the left hand was Matthew Pounder. I prefer not to see the bounce shot. I'm fighting a battle against bounce shots. You know, these kids are such good shooters, you know, putting the ball on the turf and bouncing it. Put it on cage.
What's funny, too, you know, when you're playing the majority of your games on grass, bounce shot can really be a very dangerous tool to have. You know, the grass, it bounces differently. You hit a little rock or whatever, it takes a weird hop. Out here in the turf, you really don't get that same consistency. So unless you're being truly deceptive.
Or inconsistency,
yeah,
if you will.
There you go. The consistent, inconsistent. No, I think it's a great point. You know, on the turf, put it somewhere. You know, put it high to low, pick a corner.
Great finish from Jack Walsh.
He's playing a great game.
On the inside.
He's got to be an early candidate for an MVP look.
Split dodgeball's going to kick through X
Team
here.
Maverick's goal, his second of the night, number 9, Jack Walsh.
In the feed
The
from
assist,
Mac
number
McLean.
5, Mac
It's a good
McLean.
look. It's a good
Good
look.
name and a good name.
Great name. Great name. And honestly, that was a great job there. Seth Higgins was the original Dodger out there on the wing, number 11.
Yeah,
he did a really good job out of that two-man game to kind of kick it back through X. And
got to have a guy that can beat a defender one-on-one and create offense. So 1-goal lead for Team Maverick, 1:30 remaining. Team Cascade wearing white, having the possession.
I think I'll head down the second half, go back down the sideline, talk to some of these kids, get a little bit of read on, you know, what they're thinking and what their experience has been like this week, and you know what they're looking for. That was a good look. It was tight, but it was a good look.
So just under a minute remaining. Maverick with the lead. We'll see if they hold for one possession. Cintron out of Ohio. There's the long stick. 40 seconds now. Maverick has their offensive personnel on. See what they decide to do, where they decide to attack, and how soon. Ooh, wow.
Just quick and slick.
Davis Lindsay. Where did he, it seemed like he shot this ball from behind goal line extended.
Watch the replay on this.
Look at the little stutter, little Rob Pinnell there. And watch this.
Close, beats him near side.
From behind the goal.
That was a good one. That was a good one. That was creative. I mean, it was. He knew what he was. And a half. I'll take it.
Cascade 5. We're sending you down the sideline.
What do you desire? What makes you itch? What sort of a situation would you like? So I always ask the question, what would you like to do if money were no object? How would you really enjoy spending your life? Well, it's so amazing. As a result of our kind of educational system, crowds of students say, well, we'd like to be painters, we'd like to be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I said, do you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. And forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid.
Guys, it's a pleasure to be here today. This event is now in its 12th year, and time certainly has flown by in regards to the players that have come through this event. And it's been an amazing experience for me and the other guys who started this event. The common denominator for me and for all of you that are in this room right now is the passion to be great at the sport of lacrosse. And that's never going to change. So the climate of the sport can change, the experiences that you get can change, but the passion that burns inside of all of you to be
been the most trusted
half. Maverick Showtime. Maverick wearing the
Cascade goalie number 2.
Great save there. Sent legend down to Hughes and and what this showcase means. We've had some great interviews with the 20. Some of these players. Sound like we had Connor there. An extra man opportunity. Had a man-up goal in the picked up by Team Maverick. Ooh, some contact there. Looks like the ball went off of White. It's going to be Navy's ball. Maverick, and here comes the quick double team on the box. Going to have a penalty. Seth Higgins. Took a lot of contact there for Team Maverick. All right, and there is Connor Wilson.
Yeah, I tried.
Joining us back on the headset.
The portable microphone did not love the pouring rain.
No,
yeah,
technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties thanks to pouring rain.
We're just glad to have your voice.
Nothing new in the lacrosse world.
Back on the broadcast.
I was actually gonna interview Kobe Ginder's older brother Jordan, who's headed to Duke.
Oh wow.
He's a face-off guy who has been playing at Brunswick for the last couple of years, and he's here with his dad and his mom, and you know, there are a lot of families here. I'm really impressed by the turnout, the number of, not only the number of coaches watching these games, but there are a lot of family members. I mean, brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers and grandparents. And, you know, people aren't cheering or yelling at refs. They're just watching their kids play lacrosse.
That's always refreshing.
Yeah. Good defensive stick there, getting it up in the passing lane.
Sticks up, 45s in the lanes.
You know, you look around, they're all up. They're all to the inside.
You know what that tells me? Good. Oh, yeah.
Get
out.
I was going to tell you another Wesleyan story.
Are you still somehow?
I got you to mention it.
Yeah, okay. Skate.
Here.
All right, we'll take it. How about this at Austin Prep? Linger.
That was beautiful.
Backed up.
I mean, Christopher
backed up by tell you what, watching these teams just move the ball with their legs. A lot of these kids, football players. I played basketball. I went to actually the year before I went first.
Wow. Was the
lacrosse
first
was
sport.
our.
That has to be.
Ever had.
Numbers wise, though, it makes sense, right? You need.
Correct. Yeah, my mom was a teacher there, and that's.
You had the inside scoop.
I had the inside scoop.
I'm excited about this.
Actually, my mom. And that was it. And that was
cross factor was really an academic decision. Today, that's a different scenario. Want to is harder, I think, now. it, though, you can do it. Idea of
right. And most of using lacrosse, you still gotta get it done in the classroom, you know, but to help you get over that hump as an athlete, getting recruited by the school, and you see the list that these kids are going to be committing to Ivy League. You know, you talked about Duke a second ago, just these great academic institutions. Great shot. Overhand release.
Connor Thoreau ate the first one on that possession, but couldn't stop the second one. Ellison
loved it. He shot his first one sidearm for Thoreau to pick that curve in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Number 14.
With an overhand shot.
Yes.
It's really the same motion.
Yes.
You know, it's very deceptive. You can change it at the last minute. With sidearm, you know, you're cutting the goal in half. You're either shooting high or you're shooting low, just based off of your release. Some of the better guys can get more deceptive with that, but it's definitely a next level skill that the majority of players do not possess, especially not in high school.
Mm-hmm. So with that goal, Maverick extends their lead to 3. Just under 22 minutes remaining in what is the final and second period.
It's been a great game. I mean, it's 8-5. Seen some pretty goals, some really good defensive plays, a couple great saves, some good face-off work.
And it's been clean, not a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
Value in the ball.
And still playing team lacrosse, even though it's an all-star game.
Not on cage there.
Opportunities where the player limited him. Stay big, you know, cut.
Oh.
Those things. That was a fantastic.
And that, my.
How they call it here.
Want to use the behind.
I love there from top. He kept cutting, and you saw stick and 3 inches, and that's a. Yep.
Good.
Yep. Yes, it's also right on the. You know, it's. Yes, you know, if you do the little thing.
Throw great passes.
Right? I mean, I'm hitting all the fine points
Shoot
here.
Great shots.
Yeah, score when you shoot. Run. I mean, and that is actually, I mean, we are joking around, but there's a simplicity to this game.
Yeah, make
when
simple plays.
Make
hard. Simple plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass the ball, share the there are these simple basic things that you can do, and then that's where the fancy stuff comes from, right? It builds off of the simple, the fundamental.
Right, you can't do the fancy unless you can do the fundamental.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you can't throw a good normal face dodge, you probably shouldn't be working on your toe drag, right? You know, like keep it up by your head first where you can shoot and score and do all that, and then once you have that in your repertoire, then you can start working on.
And that's one of the things, Blake Cintron here in space. Nice run from the long pole, not able to put it on cage. But one of the things that I found is sometimes people come to me and say, I want advanced lacrosse training.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we see you play pro. You know, we see what you guys do in the pro level. We want that. And my response is things that we do in practice at the pro level
are fundamental.
Are the same things that you do in a 5th and 6th grade practice. It just looks way better because everybody has mastered, you know, a different level of fundamental and skill.
And it's funny. Believer in, you know, if you're that good, but your left hand is great.
Dave.
Oh, come on. That was awesome up here. He's made a couple big body saves.
Mavericks.
As long as it's a fundamental doing all the right things.
A change in thought from another save from Thoreau right there. And kid sticks are like a huge pick on ball.
Yep.
And you know what? Is the Canadian here in the United States now, and these kid sticks. And in those opportunities, when you get field practice, you're shooting on smaller goals. Box, you got to put it on. On the reps that these kids are getting.
Another one there from Christopher. I think he's a good shooter, you know, coming around top side. Increases the angle around the front.
Big believer in saying your stick has eyes. What you can see if you extend that stick and holes, you know, you're going to have more has eyes.
If you're in a weird way.
I think you just explained.
I think you got it. But, you know, we keep talking from multiple points and to do all these things well.
So with that goal, the lead is shrunk to 3 with 16 minutes remaining in the final period of play. And Team Cascade with the ball.
One of the other reasons I like box so much is that I feel like it's such a good change of pace. You know, lacrosse has really become a 10, 11 month a year sport for a lot of kids. And by playing a season, even if it's only 2 months or 3 months of box, it does change it up a little bit.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
It feels different.
Yep.
There's a lot of kids now that on the States, side, United States, that prefer to play box now.
I love playing box. It has made me a much better player. Even in my mid to late 30s, I've become a better player by playing box lacrosse.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes, you have to react a little bit quicker. You have to be a little bit more confident. You have to take more of a beating, give more of a beating. It's a great sport. It's a lot of fun. It's a new challenge. You know, if you've never done it before, it's another opportunity to play lacrosse and get better and learn.
So an empty possession there for Team Cascade. They threw that top-down pass to the crease. We talked about it multiple times today, and once again, that fool's gold, it looks like it's a great look, and it results in a turnover. Good spacing there and defense from Team Cascade. Ooh, the flip play off the pick. Great save, Thoreau.
He got beat there earlier once in the day, came back. He saw that coming all the way, made a great save.
How about that play?
Hey,
the flip to the pick?
Oh, the flip to the pick. That was a really good 3-man play up top. That was excellent.
Oh, no. And Cascade just doesn't take care of it. When you get stops, you got to get the ball to your offense. You got to take care of it. There you go. Great double team, though, from Cascade to get the ball back. It's going to be Team Maverick playing without the stick.
And I don't know if you guys could see that because we were zoomed in, but Davis Lindsay there from the Christ School was literally at the goal line, number 4, as an attackman. You can see him riding there on the ball. He sprinted all the way back. Those are the little plays. Some coach out there noticed that.
You noticed it.
I noticed it.
You're a coach. Check that box.
Not the college coach.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Not the coach he's looking to get noticed by, but I can guarantee that somebody out there on the sideline, one of the coaches who's here, definitely saw that.
Wow.
It's creativity again that we're seeing. You just weren't seeing that stuff 10 years ago.
Just the ability from Sam Chase to keep the ball in his stick. Good save.
Great defensive collapse there, just coming together.
Nice save by Team Mavericks goalie number 2, Cooper Yacino.
Cooper Yacino with a nice save. He hasn't been tested. He hasn't seen a lot of shots. That was a nice save.
It's a good goalie, though, out of New Trier in Illinois.
9-6 lead. Ooh, but
big time. Somebody you've only met probably 2 days.
Board.
Skip pass for the sake of making the skip.
It's a tough thing. Pass, you throwing the ball through again.
Yeah. Increasing your chances for. And the other thing about, I want each defender to play the ball. You know, every time you can get them to take a step. So the in and out related defense is an easy team that can just basically just
nice move. They're on that pick.
or dodge.
Good double team. Good. We see Matt Licata. On. Play that. Oh, great cut.
That far. Yeah.
This feed you're going to see here. Money. Job by the camera. Brett Dauber. That's all.
And just unbelievable stuff.
Touches this, and it's low and away. Oh,
I mean, one of those saves were just cross and made the save, but those the saves you shouldn't make. I'm not going to rely on making those. Great opportunity there.
Wanted to make all the saves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, wouldn't we all? He'd also those. Just having a goalie that can confidence because you know the line that you not be concerned about.
Playing in front of a great goal. One game and he is as good a goalie as I've ever played in front of.
Miraculous goals or you know 8 yards into a corner. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Just I knew what was going on.
The extra man up on the man up, and then you get the ball moving, get spread out. Whammy! Oh, great. Dino
coming out playing physical.
Do some things there, take some risk, pick 10-man ride.
It's a great asset. Every league championship at any level. With 5 minutes left, you better. It was unbelievable.
man.
They had such a diversity of sets,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that they could throw out at different times, and their personnel really all understood it.
Look at this. Oh, this kid is slick.
Just sneaky. Yeah, that's a good goal.
Davis Lindsay making a push for MVP.
Yeah, watch this one. I think he had another one earlier, right, where he snuck it near side, and this one I think he went far side with it.
Just what? Oh, we missed the dodge there in the first, but
yep.
How about the release, the quickness? Starts with a swim move, gets his hands free, and just ball is out on target, snapped out the goal before the goalie can get set and make the save. He's a good-looking player.
That's the thing with a lot of like the 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that I've coached in the past. They all play with a little bit too much whip in their sticks because they want that power. That wasn't a power shot. That was a quickness. That was a snap shot.
Good save again for Cooper.
Good job finding numbers there. In this half.
When I'm watching him play, he's always in the right spot, so those saves look easy.
Yeah.
You know, his angles are good. He's staring down shooters. He's squaring them up. He's doing a great job of being in the right spot in increasing his chance to make save. He doesn't have to do anything acrobatic. He's there. He's all over it.
Another good save. That was a great feed inside, a really good opportunity there. But, you know, Cooper Yacino.
And how about the outlet?
Huge save and a great outlet pass. Oh, dodging through the transition. Oh, maybe not the most fundamental, but. Game trying to get the guy with the ball and.
Team Mavericks had a lot of attack.
Yeah, they're doing a great job just getting some dodge. You know, running another attackman. Lose a step.
And then winning their matchups and getting a good slide from Cascade.
As his back was turned.
It's win an offensive player over here. If nobody's coming to help, that you get scored on, and you're like, that's not realistic.
And Blake. Speed. You got a good hard take.
Oh, that's his third of
He's playing. Had a couple pretty goals.
There.
Played in one tournament ever. 2-point line, and I gotta say, I had a blast.
Shot clock, 2-point line.
Some guy. Hudson Bone.
placement on bounce shots. High release.
The stick check.
Yep. Yeah, he soaked a few checks there. And it's going to be Team Cascade ball.
Looks like a withholding violation.
Yeah, not sure what we saw, but 120 remaining. So like you said, if you're Team Cascade, you're trying to get one more. Oh, I thought he was going to pull that. That was pretty deep.
17-yard bomb squad, I think.
Yeah, why not? It's 2-point range.
Let it go. Let it go. Good handle up there.
Mm-hmm. All right. 40 seconds remaining in the game. See if Maverick goes for another.
Good stick.
It's an all-star game. You go for another, right?
Oh, absolutely. Never stop scoring.
Is that the Wesleyan way?
No. Win however you can.
So 15 seconds remaining. Good double team. I love that.
As soon as he turned his head, he came right on him. That was a great play there by the defender. I think that was Kinney.
He's had a great game.
He's definitely played really well.
Oh, how about the feed?
Oh! And the
Thoreau.
press box going crazy. Thoreau making a big save to finish it off, coming out, putting on a little pressure. These guys are all smiles. This was a really fun, good game to watch. A lot of talent out there, a lot of future D1 players. And this was a great day. I'm really excited we got up here and got to see all this lacrosse and see kids from all over the country playing the game, getting after it.
Like you said, I think for us, just fortunate to be a part of this event, to see the lacrosse that we saw and see the leaps and bounds that young players are taking from a stick skill perspective, athleticism perspective, IQ perspective. These kids can flat out play.
And they're high character kids. I can't tell you that every single kid, I was amazed. Every single kid I interview on the sideline, yes, sir, yes, of course. No, I mean, fully engaged. They're right there. These kids are focused and driven, and they're good kids. And that's a great thing to see. It's exactly what our sport needs.
2018 Maverick.
So for Connor Wilson, I am Greg Bice saying so long and hope you enjoyed the Maverick Showtime All-Star Game. The 2021s earlier, the 2022s concluding, and what was some awesome lacrosse. Thanks and have a great evening.
How would you really be poets, we'd like to be writers, but as everybody knows, you can't earn any money that way. Another person says, well, I'd like to live an out-of-doors life and ride horses. I say, do you want to teach in a riding school? Let's go through with it. What do you want to do? When we finally got down to something which the individual says he really wants to do, I will say to him, you do that. and forget the money. Because if you say that getting the money is the most important thing, you will spend your life completely wasting your time. You'll be doing things you don't like doing in order to go on living, that is, to go on doing things you don't like doing, which is stupid.
Guys, it's a pleasure to be here today. This event is now in its 12th year, and time certainly has flown by in regards to the players that have come through this event. And it's been an amazing experience for me and the other guys who started this event. The common denominator for me and for all of you that are in this room right now is a passion to be great at the sport of lacrosse. And that's never going to change. So the climate of the sport can change, the experiences that you get can change, but the passion that burns inside of all of you to be great, that doesn't have to change over time because you love a sport.
For over 30 years, Cascade has been the most trusted helmet in lacrosse. Introducing the Cascade S. Cascade, passion to protect.
Jordan Wolf won't pan out.
Joe Walters is overrated.
Joey Sankey won't make it at the next level.
Fire!
The idea about Showtime was pretty simple. We wanted to capture the growth of the perspective because so in the past were, and the time was to capture those great, but also have a lacrosse across. So we have the southeast everywhere. So we have the best players, and I think we've seen now two of my buddies from Syracuse, Joe Segler, college lacrosse at Syracuse with New Jersey team, but the Syracuse lacrosse based on the fact and envision intimate, have kids from all across the country come here, but have it in a really cool core setting. And what I mean by that, there's a one field model here. So if you're a 2020, for example, in your graduating class, you play on one field. If you're a 2021, you play on one field. If you're a 2022, you play on one field. So depending on the grad class that you want to watch, there's only one place to find them. And I think that's been a really cool aspect of this event. And then the kids get to know each other. And then the team camaraderie and the ability to play with that same team over the course of a 3-day span, it's really sweet. I think Showtime's grown with the sport of lacrosse. So over the last 12 years, we're seeing a change in lacrosse in terms of the athletes. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger, and they're so skilled. And I think kids are playing more lacrosse than ever. So when they come to an event like this, you're just amazed the charts. You know, we're watching kids who are just starting entry-level standpoint. So has kind of, not only do we see players who types of markets where the bigger, I think, is a reflection to. So the sport, the great players in to work has been here. Generation of stars. We have a strong base of high school in this great nation out where those or they've coached in the past. These player video in, and they go through Showtime. Not easy because we do fortunately there's only it also enough to be here just last 3 days. I mean, that's what these games, athletic ability of guys that could shoot on the stride when they're dodging. It's been really players as well, but 20s, and for the 20s, I and when I more in regards to offense and guys defenses ability to really understand this has been pretty now, and I'm for ESP weekend and week to really back and say, well, even better over the last 10 years and in the South, closing the game, big time players, and then a place like Utah to have a Utah be in the college. Have great players, some fantastic, a lot of guys who've taken a while, guys who are just we'll see more shape. How much crazy? I'm glad they take the and like elite young athletes stretch focused. I am Paul Carcaterra.
Trees that are steamed and fully carved and shaped. This is an old style or earlier. Here, before North State high school. This is brand new box. Part of my collection. It's a wooden mix. This is a left-hand stick, all heavy wood. It says Cortland up near. It's another brand new box. They're making double wood. So players didn't like them. He really didn't like it. Got some design on it, burned it. Couple stars. It's got a little happy, right? So, thank you. Get out the Eagle. From northern and early. Phenomenon. There's a modern nuts and game. Pick up the way. Oklahoma right on there. 15. The thing is, our the creator has a game for part of our
across Massachusetts, the company, one of these NCAA up 1-0. They dominated possession in the first. This is Jackson World. Spins and gives for another one. The first 7 goals in the second. Goal of 6 seconds. Eccles tips. I mean, again wreaking havoc to 4. Thompson after Gaudet had quite a Jason Alessi. 5th goal. Mascot still Reeve fires Yale. It is quarter now. For here is 100. Yale a bit late. again. Season high 14-7. Albany was going down, but not without showing off some wizardry. Check out Connor Fields' behind-the-back pass to Jacob Patterson for the goal. There's another look at it.